Hello, are we live? Can we be heard? Let me just pop off the stream lo-fi. Hello, Chelsea, can you hear us? Drop a quick... Yes, perfect, we can be heard. So, welcome to DC30 and our Mythic Odyssey of Theros. I am joined by my lovely Skype logos. I'm your Dungeon Master Red, and as always, being serious, I am joined by the lovely Teddy, Morse, Eslin, Heaton, and Violet will be along shortly. She is just gearing up, so she'll be along in a moment. How's everybody feeling? How's everybody doing this evening?
I'm good. I'm just waiting for some food to be done, and then obviously after I've eaten, I'll be on camera.
You're not going to grace us with your mulching mastication? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, not with this one. It's going to be a big old burrito mess. So unless you want to see me gorge something down very disgustingly, I would rather recommend people don't stay tuned for that.
Chat, comment a little frog emoji if you would like to see that, and comment a little halo emoji if you would not.
Some people pay to see that.
Yeah, you know... Where's the That Tall Guy Cosplay OnlyFans account?
Yeah, you can join my OnlyFans for 4,000 calorie mukbangs every Friday.
Oh wow, okay, so we got one vote, and it's in favor of seeing that, Jason, so do with that information what you will. The comment is mukbang stream. But in any case, Tempest. When last we left off, you guys had met the Shark Queen, Tallulah, oppressor of the city of Vashiros, Eslin's hometown, in a climactic battle where she used her epic mythic action to gain a second wind and new abilities and achieve her quote-unquote ultimate final form. Despite her most nefarious powers, you were able to vanquish her with a very timely, enormous smite that shattered her weapon and sundered her form. The city of Vashiros, with its cured of the plague princess, Gieta, was incredibly grateful to your efforts, and they rewarded you handsomely, as well as naming you forevermore friends of the city. You guys gathered your things, and with your newfound treasure, gifted to you by the city of Vashiros, as well as that you found in the Shark Queen's quarters, which included that pile of money and that long quartz rod. You gathered your things and were escorted by a mini armada in your honor back to Meletis, a journey that took about 5 days. Begging your pardon, a journey that took about 5 days. And on the morning of the 5th day, you begin to hear gulls, and you soon faintly hear and then see the familiar form of the largest city in all of Theros, Meletis. And that is where we come to. Because you guys aren't, just to paint a picture as well, you guys aren't actually on a, You guys aren't actually on a, ship at all. Ugh. The hell is wrong? Oh, there we go. Sorry. There we go. My bad. You guys aren't actually on a ship at all. You're basically on a platform that was mounted on the back of a whale. The, most of the armada stays at the rim of the city in the, beyond the great walls of the port, because obviously there is no facility for such vessels within the city, but the singular whale you are on does pull up right into the docks. The ships that are passing by just like stare wildly in your direction like, what the fuck? But soon enough, you pull up onto the docks, and Eslin, you see a familiar 3 or 4 figures standing up on the docks. The most familiar among them being large barrel-chested individual with an enormous orange sail down his back, holding a small child with a shock of orange hair and his mother's eyes. And they wave excitedly at you as you guys all pull in.
So literally, like, as soon as Eslin can, like, as soon as, like, it sort of, like, hits the dock or whatever, she's gonna, like, leap down to go and, like, see them, be like, oh, you're safe. Thank goodness. It's been a while. How are you? Did you get here safe? Is everyone okay? Did you all make it?
So your parents are there as well, just to clarify, and they all pile into this massive group hug. Your son nestled between your husband and yourself, and your parents at the corner of it, and you guys just spend a good few minutes just holding each other. And your husband, Kurdos, eventually puts your son down and says, "We traveled quickly and quietly. It was a tense few days, but we were able to arrive at the city a day or so after you did. Before you did, sorry. It has been nice. Calm. Very busy. Zeres is incredibly excitable. He's wanting to see and experience everything."
Fabulous. Did Daxos look after you okay?
Your fiery friend was gracious enough to allow us lodgings for last evenings, and he's happy to help us seek a more permanent solution here if we wish.
Actually, I need to apologize to you. As much as I thought I was right to send you away and obviously make sure that, you know, our son had a parent to go to, I didn't realize that you might have had something to say to Lula personally. However, she is dead. She is very, very dead.
Whilst I won't lie, the delectable taste of vengeance is something I missed somewhat sorely. The important thing is, I have you again, and we have each other. And he tousles Zeres' hair. And you beat her. You saved the city, all on your own. I would have liked to have been there for you, but...
Well, not all by myself at all. I mean...
Of course,
my friends have been invaluable, and... Would you be happy to stay here in Meletis?
Wherever you are is my home. What do you wish?
I can't see us going back there anytime soon.
He looks down at his son and gets down. Zeres? Do you like Voshiros? Do you want to go back? And Zeres kind of just in a childlike way shrugs.
Well, Meletis sounds great then. I mean, we've got more friends on there anyway, just putting that out there, but...
Kodos, who you generally don't hear him be anything less than proper with his words, so this comes as a bit of a shock, just shrugs and says, "Fuck him."
Agreed. Agreed.
And who would be right behind Eslin out of the rest of the party?
I think Jason just disappeared off, but I would imagine it's probably Jason followed by the rest of us.
Jason with his magic bullet blend. Which I obviously just making a smoothie. What? I like breakfast smoothies. Alright, I'll see.
Keep that protein intake.
Kodos pulls you all into a massive hug and thanks you all profusely for helping Eslin. Some of you who are less physically robust fear you may be turned into sausages from the strength of his hug, but he relents eventually and... So... Where to?
Sorry, was that Jason? Or...
No, that was Kodos. That was Kodos.
Oh, right. Okay. Cool. Well, I mean, it would be nice to spend some time here for a bit.
Your, fiery-haired friend asked, that you see him when you return.
Yes, we do need to return the items that we borrowed. So...
Katrina's visibly slouches, disappointed as he kind of like whips his cloak over his back.
Did anybody catch that?
No.
Scotinos is disappointed at the loss of his cloak, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry, it's very windy on this pier.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, let's go see Daxus, and take things from there, I guess. Eslin's gonna like look over at Jason and see sort of like how he's doing.
Go ahead and make an insight check.
My magic roll's coming again with a 9.
He's been a little quiet on the trip, but other than that, nothing really strikes you as out of the ordinary.
And how? Okay, let's go see Daxus then.
Alright, easy enough. You make your way through the familiar busy sight of the city of Meletis, seeing, you know, the odd familiar face through the crowd. But sure enough, you eventually, knowing the route quite well now, pull up to the familiar building, the Crucible.
Eslin's gonna do her usual like knock on the door and be like, "Honey, we're home."
There is no answer, but you do hear the familiar sing of metal clangs coming from the back.
Just like as routine, she's just gonna make her way through, like.
Well, you step into the back into Daxos's workshop, and you see him just there as ever, just in the middle of working on what looks to be a gorpis, a sort of machete-style sword, kind of like the one Leonidas has in 300. You do notice, however, that his left shoulder is bandaged up, and he has a few large bruises on him and a black eye.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. It'll heal.
What the hell happened?
Needed ingredients. Went hunting for them. Got ambushed by frost giants.
You should have got the daughters of Millenia involved then.
What?
Should have got Millennial Warriors then.
I didn't realise how windy it was inside this forge. Yeah, he says, as you look at me, he goes, you should have got the, I'm going to use it again because it's just all.
Can you
You
use
should have got
Gus?
the daughters.
Oh, the
use
daughters
Gus as a cantrip?
Should have got the daughters of Nilia involved then, is what
If Gus could be used as a cantrip, then I just assume that Skatinos has just got Colours of the Wind, Pocahontas going around him 24/7.
Yeah. Yeah. To respond to...
I'm going to chat in, I'm going to text in chat for now until.
No, that's fair, that's fair. To respond to you, Scotinos, he says, I didn't want to be a bother. They got enough on their plate. Looking after, the new arrival, as it were.
New arrival.
Your new friend, Tanis. They're, letting her stay there at least until she... and helping her figure something out. We all are.
Understood. Kaido said that you wanted to see us? Obviously for your weapons and stuff, I assume.
Yes, you guys really went above and beyond, and, the, city of Neolantin, after finding out that one of the idyllic, long-lost kings had been uncovered, are very eager to see his effects returned.
Yeah, sure. And Eslin will remove her armor, I guess.
Daxos takes it. Incredibly well made. He waves his hand. They're not something I might want to wear. Yeah, you're braver than I am. He takes the Shatterer from Amalia and the gauntlets off of...
Down, starts crying emotionally. Can I just say goodbye to her before you take her? Please?
Yeah, Jack takes off the gauntlets, but there seems to be a element of conquering a fear or a phobia as he kind of hands them over.
Daxos looks at you like, you? Really? Like, as in terms of, like, understanding the element of conquering fear, and says, and he just gives you, like a fair play, kind of.
I was surprised too, but they actually came quite useful. Highly recommend.
I'm almost sad to see them go, but it wouldn't be right to withhold them from their rightful owners. Plus, they paid handsomely. That said...
Say goodbye to the axe first, please. Pretty please.
He holds it out to you.
He takes it. Hello there, dear friend. I just want to say I love you very much. You are the only true love I have ever had. Thank you for everything. Thank you for killing the Shark Queen. Thank you for being so pretty. She hugs the axe. Love you so much. I will treasure the time we have.
Eslin is just trying to stifle her, absolutely pissing herself, like...
My precious.
Daxos does take a note of your love for this axe, Amalia. He points to the treasure chest that Calliope has been holding under her arm and says, doesn't look like you came back empty-handed either.
I love you, precious, and I will always be here.
Did we get a treasure?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got like some pearls or something. Like white and black pearls, and then inside the chest there was the crystal, the seaweed with all the papers that Scotinas took, and I think a map.
Okay.
Okay, goodbye, good friend.
Yeah, so, if you were to... Yeah, so, to recap, as, you know, you pop the chest down, and open it up and you guys count through it together on the counter of the shop. And yeah, so just to recap, Calliope, 5,000 gold pieces worth of the finest iridescent pearls and black opals. The sealed seaweed tube with the map, which I'm guessing Skotinos is holding on to. A total of 3,600 gold pieces, like actual just gold drachmi. 750 gold pieces of gems and pearls, including 300 gold pieces of diamonds. And a mysterious shard of white quartz, about 19 inches long.
Okay, thank you.
Daxos,
Yeah,
the axe is going to a good home, right?
it's going back to the descendants of its original owners.
Hugs the axe really tight. You're going to go to a good home. Don't worry about a thing. I love you. She hands back the axe and starts crying again. And drops down.
Daxos takes the axe and puts it down and just looks at you a bit like, what the fuck? But he points to the...
A big hug, Amalia.
He points to the chest, though, as you guys have sort of laid it out, and he's like, damn, good haul.
Do we decide if we're doing anything with the chest? Like, are we splitting it with Daxos, or...
No, that's yours to keep. That has nothing to do with... If you would have... I'm
Oh,
assuming
no,
you would
no,
have explained to him
okay,
where
okay.
you found that. He's like, I'm not gonna dip into that, that's yours. What's that crystal?
Which one? The weird-looking one?
He points to the big, long piece of white quartz, yeah.
Oh. Should I give it to him to inspect it? Like, I give Eslin a... Should I? Look?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
That I can identify it if you like.
Be my guest, and I give him the thingy.
Waves his hand, his eyes glow that usual ember red, more so than normal. Actually, though, they would flash white in this instance. You see just like, almost as if he's like plucking the strings of a guitar, but it's magical glyphs as it goes over the crystal. And you got this from this shark queen, you say?
No. We killed the shark queen because she was evil. This
But it was
from
in
the-
her possession.
Yeah, it was in her possession. But
Right.
the princess was nice. I liked her.
Daxos takes a note of this. It's like, okay.
We also met Delphine. I believe you know her
Yeah.
quite intimately.
Daxos's eyes visibly just like widen slightly.
She took
Oh.
us quite a, she painted us quite a, vivid picture of what you two have been up to.
Yeah, a tiny bit too vivid, to be honest with you.
Yeah, a little bit TMI.
Well, she always was, one with a flair for performance.
And here's
You
me.
would know.
Daxos chuckles. How's she doing?
She helped us. She wasn't nice and friendly. A little
Really?
bit sketchy, but
Scottinos mentioned that she wanted the poison for herself.
Sorry guys, one sec. Okay, so fixing AirPods issues. What did you guys say?
I said that Morse has put, Scotty said something in the chat.
Ah. Poison for herself.
The disease, what the Shark Queen used to subjugate the people of Vishiros.
What would Defile want for that?
Well, she did have an interesting fascination with it, and I'm as fascinated as the next satyr about a good poison. But it seems like she was very interested to know how to activate it.
That's odd, I've never known her to be all that nefarious. Self-serving to be sure, but I can't see what you would gain out of unleashing such a thing.
of course, I could have entirely read the situation wrong. But either way, the toxins were taken care of.
Very well. However, this Shark Queen is certainly well traveled. He holds up the piece of quartz. This is called a stone speaker crystal, made by giants, I believe. It does need to be attuned to, but it holds 10 charges that recharge almost completely every day. 2 charges let you talk to animals. 4 charges let you talk to the dead. 3 let you talk to plants.
Oh, wait. Back up. You talk to the dead.
Not the dead per se, but corpses have an imprint of their memories and knowledge that, through divine magic, can be influenced and can be sort of tapped into.
So let's say, would we need a corpse?
You would need a body, yes. A head at the very least. Something that can talk.
God damn it, Ganassi.
He hands it back to you. So yeah, if you guys look up Stone Speaker Crystal in D&D Beyond, it will show up.
So, do you guys know where you're heading off to next?
So we have a set destination? Oh.
Daxos will sort of conclude saying, look, you guys went above and beyond, and I'm not the kind of person who's just gonna be a dick and leave it at the letter of the agreement. If you have a request that is within my power to grant, I'm willing to work with you guys in terms of developing it. I could. He points to you, Amalia. How does a shiny new set of armor sound?
Ooh, pretty.
It won't be magical, unfortunately, but it will be robust.
I could do with armor. I like armor. You know I like things that are pointy. But I like, shiny things too. That's fine. Thank you.
Eslin, how about you? New armor?
Yeah, sure.
He points to... So he'll essentially offer to craft non-magical equipment any piece of non-magical equipment you request free of charge.
Mm.
Anything non-magical probably would have little use for myself, so because someone else can take my make slot, as you will.
Noticing this, Daxos will say, well, as an added bonus, that hunk of scrap you call a ram at the front of your ship, I took personal offense to as a craftsman, so, why don't I get you guys a new one of those as well?
I can see that being useful for everyone. What do you think?
Well, yeah, fabulous. That's really nice of you.
Well, you guys did me an absolute solid and went above and beyond, and I made a pretty penny off of that transaction, so it's the least I can do.
Yeah. Come here a second.
Daxos gets a little closer.
I'm gonna slap him with a cure healing word. I don't have cure wounds equipped.
Oh. He rolls his shoulder and strips down the bandage.
Bit better?
Yeah. It stopped hurting as well, thank you.
No worries. Thanks for being so helpful.
All in a day's work.
And to my family as well. Thank you.
You're welcome. Right, so, and he twirls his hand, and a long, thin piece of silk that has little lines on it just floats out. Who's getting measured first?
Oh, me.
Cool.
Over here.
He will spend some time taking everybody's measurement, and yes, so he explains that he will need some time to craft it. He's quick, but not that quick, but that you guys can collect everything in about a week, including the ram, which he will see to it that it is mounted on your ship. Right. Is there anything else I can do for you guys?
I think that's everything, right?
Unless you're looking to to spend some of that coin here. And he's like gives you. He's clearly joking, but there is a little bit of like maybe.
I think we'll take that as a no for now.
Very well.
Cool. So we are in Meletis for another week. What would you guys like to do?
I'm guessing you want to spend it with your family.
Well, yes, but if you need my help on something, I would be happy to help you.
Eslim, am I gonna, after the week is done, do I have to say goodbye to you?
I mean, I just, it's a possibility, yeah. I just wanted to make, well, I'm sort of thankful for this time, really. It will just give me some more time to think about what it is that I need.
I understand. Pulls her into a hug. I love
Thank you.
Eslim. You're a good person.
I love you.
I'm gonna go have a walk.
Okay. You guys watch as Amalia goes off and has a wander by herself. What is anybody else doing at this time?
I mean, Jason's looking really rough, and you can see he's kind of like the last battle seemed to have done something to him. I might stay here for a while and get a drink with you all, but there is some business I need to attend to on my home island, which I promise you will not be any danger. Let's just say things have been put into perspective, and I'd like to go home for a small while and heal myself and gather my thoughts.
Eslin's gonna give Jason a very deliberate look of, like, home? Like, obviously knowing sort of about his background and stuff. and then she's gonna do the, you know, when you want to talk to someone later, like, yeah.
There's like a knowing nod, but it's still like a nod of like, yeah, home.
I can't say.
I think
that
I'll take the train.
Oh, what about you, Calliope?
Sorry, guys, I'm back.
It's all good.
Cool beans.
We're spending a week in Meletis. We're all deciding what we're doing. We're having a lot of angst right now.
Eslin might leave. Jason wants to go home. Amalia's depressed again.
We're asking what everyone's doing for the week. So, Scotty, what about you? What are you up to? Are you going to spend some time with Galatea?
Yes, it was Galatea.
Possibly. I think so. I'll also want to spend some time with the daughters of Nelia as well.
Mm. Sounds good. Calliope?
Well, I don't really have a home to go to, and I don't have family to spend time with, so I think I'm gonna go.
You can join us.
shopping.
You can join us.
I mean,
Or
you're
shopping.
more than welcome. to
Where you
hang-
going? Somewhere fun?
With you, it's always fun.
Oh well. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Well, I imagine there may be the occasion there might be an interesting bounty or job on the boards to explore. I might look into doing that for a short spell. Plus, I will also need to speak with Penelope as well. I have a lot to discuss with her.
Yeah, did we actually bring the urn with us?
Yes, you did.
Okay, cool. Just checking.
Just sitting on the... It's like that moment in Home Alone where it's like, Kevin! And then it just zooms to, like, the urn back at the house.
One of us in a circle just like, fuck!
I would suggest that rather than us keeping hold of such a powerful artifact, there is one person that lives in Meletis that I would trust to keep it in a safe stead. If she would speak with us is another thing. I've never spoken to her myself, just heard stories.
Elspeth. I sent her muffins once. I'm pretty sure that she does accept deliveries.
Why did you send the Killer of Gods a muffin?
Well, I may have. Well, you know that Daxus is named after her deceased husband.
Yes, of course, everyone knows that. Don't be ridiculous.
Well, I didn't know that, so. So I may have mentioned Daxos, and then basically what happened was she got very upset about her dead husband, and so.
So you're telling me that the most powerful, revered, and well-known, respected person in all of Theros thinks you just casually name-dropped her widowed husband just for what? The giggles, or?
Well, I just mentioned that we knew him, and if she knew him, and well, basically, she did, and well, she did sort of know him, but obviously the name threw her off a bit, so I sent her an apology muffin basket. But the point still stands: is that yes, she does accept deliveries.
I might suggest against just simply leaving it at her front doorstep, but at the same time, now with that story, I don't even know if it's worth us even approaching in case she blast you off the face of the
No. We ended on good terms. She didn't hate us. She just was sad. She wasn't particularly mad. She was just obviously upset.
Yes, because he was just looking up, like around the lot of you, just with like an absolute like, how on earth did you manage to do all of that?
Hi, I'm Eslin.
No
Accurate.
further questions. Well, I think that might be worth asking. Perhaps she would be willing to, if not grant an audience, permit, an escort of the artifact. It needs to be kept safe until it can be returned, for sure.
Also, does anyone remember that map with the creepy eyes? The star map that we found at the observatory? That might be worth looking into.
Who has the map,
Oh.
by the way? This is a game. This is a player to group session.
That was a
That is an
Calliope
excellent-
thing. But but I don't think Calliope was here when she received that.
I know, that's the reason why I was double checking whether or not someone had taken hold of it and either we've just forgotten to give it over. Because it's the one which we climbed to the top of the mountain, went to the observatory, found it, and it was all like oracle-based stuff, right?
Yeah.
I think Calliope would have handed it to someone better well equipped to keep things safe because she's not one of those people. So she probably gave it to Jason.
Oh, look! Look what I've just found. Hold on, let's see if I do actually have it. Okay, it's not my inventory, but we'll say that I do have it, and because I'm familiar with cartographer's tools, it kind of makes sense for me to have it as well.
Sure thing.
Well, I mean, should we find somewhere to sit and have a drink and look over this and discuss?
Well,
Yeah,
I
sounds-
certainly want to look at this map I have as well, to try and determine where this could be. Perhaps you might be able to help glean where this temple actually exists.
So,
But one at a time, I'm sure. Drinking first is a great shout.
drink and chat. We haven't been here in a while. What's the best place to go to?
I can't open
One
up the
sec,
map.
guys.
If I could on my phone, I would recommend the one that we could use, but I'll recommend one that Scotianus and Galatea have visited in the past.
Yeah, because I remember there was one that we went to
Yes,
Meletis.
that's the one I think. That's the one I'm thinking of. I think.
Yeah,
Which one's that?
the one we went to before we shipped off to Meletis.
So the ones you have been to. The what?
Is it the one we went to before we shipped to? Because we're in Meletis now.
Sorry for Sheras.
For sure, if they're okay. Cool.
So the places you have been to here are the Flowing Cup and the Fancy Peacock, which is sort of the more dive bar for poor sailors.
Flowing Cup sounds like a great shout then.
All right, this is actually the place where you first stayed. The familiar, more elderly centaur bartender is there, and he's like, what can I get for you guys?
What does everyone want?
I probably joined the group maybe like 5 minutes later, after having looked for Galatea and invited Galatea to join us as well.
I'll also suggest to Esme if she wants to message Amalia, letting her know where we're going to be.
Yeah, that's a good shout. I will cast sending at
Okay.
our Leoning friend.
All right, Eslin, what do you say?
Hi, Amalia. Hope you're feeling better soon. when you're ready, we are at the flowing cup. Is it flowing cup or flowing goblet?
It was flowing goblet, but goblets aren't a thing. I just realized, so just cup. So I made retcon it to flowing cup because I think that
Flowing
sounds nice.
cup. There we go. Love you.
Amalia, you have 25 words. How do you respond?
How many words do I have?
25.
Okay, 1 second. Okay. She will reply back going, okay, that is weird. But wow. Okay. See you later, I guess.
Hey, we have visual. Okay, cool. So you guys all convene, or you guys head to the flowing cup, and Galatea joins you. Is able to join you shortly after. You do, Scotinos, whilst you're there, do see Tanis, who seems to be just quite happily, you know, helping any way she can, like with the tanning of hides or the sharpening of spears, just being miscellaneously useful, but just being happy that she's amongst people again.
Good. I won't distract. I'll leave. I'll let her continue to kind of enjoy that company and companionship. The invitation offered if she wished to join us, but if she was quite happy, then I will also offer to Galatea. And if Galatea was also busy, that's fine. But then once I've said that, I will return to join the group. So I'll probably jump into the conversation like 2 minutes.
Galatea's not
minutes
terribly busy. She can tear herself away, but she does say that she will probably only be able to join you for a little while.
Cool. And then shortly afterwards, we will join the rest in the flowing cup.
Very well. You guys all managed to find one of the larger booths in the establishment. There's a variety of things. As how hungry are you guys? Asked the barkeep.
I mean, Dyson would be pretty hungry. Does anyone need anything to drink?
I'm okay. Anyone else? Just a normal amount of food and a normal amount of drink then, and we'll just split it depending on who's hungry or not, you know?
Soon after, Scotinos joins and orders like several gold pieces worth of red wine and like packets of food.
Easy enough. So you guys have brought like a full-on Grecian urn of wine just for the table. And the barkeep says, "We had some delectable octopus caught fresh today from the fishermen. Would that interest anybody?"
No seafood, thanks.
Very well. I mean, we have some fairly standard boar meat wraps, if that would entice anybody.
That does sound good. Yeah, I'll take one.
Scotinos is happy. He's just very specifically against anything that reminds him of the fact he's been soaked for the last month.
You can still taste the salt.
She comes back and brings you these really sort of very, like, you know when the meat, like, just you squeeze it and it just, like, sweats grease.
It's just good old,
Yeah.
good old chunky meat.
Well, not grease, but, for fuck's sake.
Just juices,
do
just
this
meat
1
juices.
Yeah. So it's just glistening with meat juices, these like boar souvlaki wraps
Nice.
that are filled with cucumber and diced tomatoes, and I'm getting evil eyes from my Greek Cypriot girlfriend.
Blame the Satyr, it's fine.
And you know, there's you brought sides of like figs that have been diced for your biting pleasure, salads to sort of adorn the side, a nice fresh loaf of bread, and then sort of to cap it all off for after the meal. And she sets down a big plate of these sort of spheres of like they look like fried bread, but they seem to be coated and glazed in honey.
Question: would I be back with them at this point, or would I still be at the temple?
Would you have decided to go with them the second they said that message, or would you have come back later?
I would come back later. 'cause I
Then
would've
you
been
would still be at the temple this time, because this is like maybe 20 minutes after they So we will get to you in just a moment, Amalia.
Okay.
But yeah, she says, a platter of lokmadis for dessert. And she pops the giant sphere down. The dish of those honeyed balls down.
Nice.
Yeah, so you guys, I'd say for everything, including the copious amounts of wine, I'd say mark off 15 gold.
Collectively or each?
No, each. Oh, sorry, electively.
Is
Actually,
it-
that's not fair. 10 gold. We'll say 10 gold for everything.
It's at this point you probably realise that Scotinus is planning to exchange to use some of the earned funds towards this, because he doesn't have anything that's actually on his sheet.
Yeah. Before it like actually would Jason be able to see that before he does anything?
See what? Sorry.
See Scatino's trying to use the earnings that they've made to pay for it.
Well, yeah, he's not going to put those in, but he like kind of like looks to it like kind of expectantly.
Okay, yeah. Like before he puts anything on the table, Jazz is gonna like put his hand out and say something in Sylvan, like, "Don't worry, I've got this."
Very well. Easy enough, yeah. 10 gold.
You're sure?
Home.
Yeah. Yeah, it's easy. Yeah, it's easy enough. 10 gold's easy enough. Excuse me.
I just want to point out, like, 7 of that 10 gold is the wine.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's that Family Guy bit, like, hey Judas, you ordered like 5 margaritas, all you had was a salad. Ignore me, continue.
I thought it seemed fitting that we celebrate style since we have now finally had a chance to breathe.
Literally.
Hey.
So, leaving, I guess. No worries, Teddy, take care.
Yeah, so,
Love you.
love you, Teddy. Teddy's feeling a bit under the weather, so she, will abstain for tonight. Yeah, so, Calliope will, I guess... Yeah, so Calliope will say to you guys, guys, I feel a headache coming on. These days have absolutely sucked in some respects. No offense, Eslin. Might go lay down if that's alright.
No, that's absolutely fine. Thank you for your help.
Calliope will purchase a room in the inn and rest her head.
So Scotinus will kind of wait until Calliope's left, so it's kind of like they sat there and like made sure like Galatier is like well drinked and dined and so forth, and then kind of just turn and look towards Esla and Jason and go, so, leaving?
I don't know. I was hoping to get more time to think about it, but probably. If anything, I'd probably like to stay here in Meletis. Maybe, I don't know, open up a shop or something. Just It's something I'm going to have to discuss with my family a bit first, but with what happened to my family, I don't think I can justify still adventuring still.
Justin kind of puts his hand on her shoulder as she says that.
Scotanus is saying absolutely nothing at this point. He's just simply like looking and smiling, and then after it looks like you're finished, he just slightly turns his head next to Jason.
I think it's easy for me to say that last fight took something out of me. It took whatever last wins I had, and I'm exhausted. And seeing Essen with her family has made me question my connection with what was my own. And a part of me seeing Essen in her hometown and feeling conflicted with saving it, staying there, or doing what's best by her family. It just reminded me of my own home and the family that I had. And so, having almost died 5 times, a large part of me wants to visit those isles again. And I guess recenter myself.
Jason, from what you said last time, what would you be going back to?
I think I want to go home and see the islands, see the isles that I haven't seen in however many years. I think since I left, and since what happened, I've been fighting non-stop, or I've been protecting people in the hopes of finding some meaning or purpose again. And with everything that has just happened, I feel old. It feels like age has caught up with me. And maybe I'm just not cut for the fighter style anymore. And I think going home after seeing you with yours, I'm hoping might bring some form of resolution to the questions I have.
I understand. But I will send you messages every day and annoy you.
I would expect nothing less from you. And if you do you fancy coming back at some point, I will probably be set up in Meletis by then. Maybe I'll get a little shop next door to Daxos and ruin his life every day.
Implying you don't already.
But no, it's I have a lot of lost time to make up for, and I feel that going back to Vashiras and having that moment very much put things in perspective for me. So I hope that returning can help you do the same.
As do I. And you have your family to look after too. So I understand why you would hang up your shield, so to speak.
There's a lot of grief there that we're going to have to work through as a family, to be honest with you. I mean, as much as I've apologized to Kodos, he, well, somebody took advantage of his body when he couldn't control himself, so I can't even imagine what that must be like.
Well, as you're aware, he'll eventually come to realization that what happened wasn't his fault, but the guilt will still be there, and it will probably haunt him as long as you can support and be compassionate and remind him of what happened wasn't his fault and not to place the blame on himself. And hopefully it will make days easier.
And can you do the same for yourself?
I'd like to think so. It's difficult when you don't necessarily have the same level of closure.
Maybe there's a way. I have heard that sometimes the gods do try to keep other gods in line.
Like I said, I've gotten old. I've seen the gods act in certain ways. Or at least the people who follow them. And it's interesting having myself changed my allegiance from one god to another. They are curious beings.
You're telling me? I haven't even heard Bass's voice once since we liberated her temple.
I know, she hasn't even spoken to you. I mean, geez.
I think I've upset her somehow. But
That's good too, though. I'm sorry. I love you, buddy, but your god, I know, has a lot of people on edge sometimes. As much as I find it amusing.
Scrutino says his mouthful. While this is happening, Amalia, what are you doing?
So I probably took a walk and then ended up at Erebos's temple.
Easy enough. You see it with his familiar statue outside and the long whip coiled around him. It's a beautiful piece, and everything has been chiseled out of marble, but it just looks like flowing cloth on his skin, and like some sections are impossibly thin. You're like, surely how could this be supported? But it looks strong and impeccable.
Make my way into the temple, go to the praying bit, sit.
The familiar... The familiar aura. There is a gravity to this place, quiet as a tomb. There doesn't seem to be anyone much around at the moment. It's kind of about the evening at this point. It's sort of, you guys have sort of spent the day sort of just hanging about. No, wait, sorry, just doing the math. You guys would have had lunch at... So, no, it's about midday, so... There's a few people paying respects, some crying quietly to themselves, you know, perhaps mourning the loss of a loved one, others... You know, there's a couple hoplites in here, you actually notice, beseeching the favor of the god of death. Not you. Find your place amongst them. What do you do?
Okay. I know I haven't prayed in a while. I know I normally do that after a battle, just to, give thanks for. Obviously, you bring the end and everything, but it's been a tough couple, 2 months to be precise, that I haven't been here. Or, prayed in my own room, in privacy. At times like this, I miss my mother. Not that I knew her. I know she's safe, down under and everything. Hope Ganassi's safe down under as well. Or in the sky. I don't know where his people go. I'm gonna miss my family. And not the family I was born into. Family that I chose. So I just want Essen to be safe. I know Jason, the fight did a number on him, so I want him to be safe too. Also, I don't really know what Scotinus is up to, but kind of intrigued. He's bizarre, but wise. But, bizarre. I just wanted to say thank you for not killing me in the battle. I genuinely thought I was going to die. Not that I'm scared, because I know death is the end and it's peaceful. But thank you.
Go ahead and make, I'll say, a constitution check. I realize it's not fair to expect you to use wisdom, because that's not your modifier. Constitution is an Echo Knight. Go ahead and make a constitution check.
Because I'm not allowed to use dice. Jesus Christ.
Oh.
5.
Alright. You do feel something. You, like a very light, gentle shroud draped around you. It's cold, but it's a reassuring cold, kind of like the cool touch of marble on the under the shade on a hot day. And it's this lingering presence, which is just there for a moment, but in that moment, you feel watched over.
Good talk. Good talk. I probably should go spend the last few minutes I have, last few days I have with them. He gets up, goes to the place where they make like the little herby things or the candles, and then maybe lights a candle or a few.
There is no candle per se, but there is a brazier at the altar that's spouting sort of sickly green flames, and a priest tending to it. You are permitted to take an offering of an incense and cast it into the fire.
Who does that?
Thank you, my child. The priest sort of like stoops over himself. And we lost Amalia. Oh wait, no, she's back.
Just sort of tips her hat and like her ears kind of go. And then she just nods and walks off and makes her way to the cup place as she knows.
The flowing cup. Cool. And back to this conversation.
Well, I know that you say that Clerica has a unique feeling she invokes, but really it's always about the mysteries and the puzzles that she presents us. You came, this family of yours, to Meletis, and I were to bump into you briefly at the notice board, and you were perplexing. And you provided an interesting puzzle for a short spell. It is a shame if this puzzle should come to an end. But, as I said to you, Justin, before, I did anticipate something like this might happen.
Yeah. Speaking, I'd probably say speaking a little. Actually, is Ezen still sitting with us, or would she have gone back?
Oh, I assume so, unless she says otherwise.
I'm still sat with you guys, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, with everything that happened down there, I think it's understandable, at least from my perspective, especially the conversations that we've had, for Ezen to feel the way that she feels. I will admit that my own feelings did come as a surprise to myself, but almost continuously dying seems to do that to you.
If I'm honest, I think that was the main reason that I kept expecting me home. And just never finding out why I didn't turn back up for him, and why my family, I don't know, I assumed deep down they'd be waiting for me, and that if I didn't do something, no one would have. And yeah, it's not a decision that's come easily. But I saw Vasa too many times. More specifically, the ferryman.
I will admit that I'm haunted every time I sleep by my past indiscretions. And for lack of a better term, I slept quite a bit down there. And when you have a constant reminder of something that you've done that you're not particularly proud of, it does put your priorities into perspective. I think I was running away from it more than I was dealing with it.
I think I understand. Well, I can't imagine, but when the object of your hate is so powerful and you can't even get revenge, or you can't rectify the situation, it must be.
It's the age-old question: how do you get revenge on a god?
I will keep an ear out.
If you find an answer to that question.
Yeah, it's always like, I don't know, it's like, what else? Oh, never mind. Rhetorical.
Stories.
I understand. It must have been rhetorical. I get it. Oh, okay, carry on.
Well, there are stories of the gods punishing one another, mainly Clothis and Crufix. But
Eslin, make a religion check, actually, if you like.
potatoes. My roll's absolute trash, man.
We're back to so it's not sandwiches anymore. It's wraps.
Continue.
We just go into a rant of knowing what we think we know about the gods.
Well, no.
There are specific stories, and I was gonna have you roll, and I could recite one, but
No, it's
that's
I
a
know
little
the
low.
story, I know the story, but now I'm not allowed to tell it, which is what I was gonna say. So now
Oh
I'm
well,
gonna
if
be
you know
like,
the story, then you know the story. I thought you Okay, no, go ahead.
I have
now
of
just like
reading.
rumor has it. The rumor has it that said God did this.
Oh yeah, no. If you had that chambered, then I'm sorry I jumped to the conclusions. Go ahead.
No. It's cool. It's cool. For legal reasons, I shall pretend I don't know. I think that there was well, I know that there was this thing called the big, like, the cold winter or something, where all the gods were shut away. No, it wasn't that one. It was the well, do you remember like the evil? Do you remember the like fake god? Well, the reason that they were all shut. Like, okay, let me research it and I will get back to you.
Are you sure it's not worth us going to us, just just for the educational purposes at this point?
I imagine me and Katina for doing that kind of that raised eyebrow thing, like letting her like try and get the words out, and we're trying desperately not to interrupt, but at the same time, it's like when someone with a stutter is speaking, you're like, I want you to end the sentence because I want you to be proud of ending it, but at the same time, like if I think I know what you're trying to say.
It's like watching the expressions
Yeah.
of the sane people in the room when Kanye was in the Oval Office with Trump.
yeah, it's just a.
And the universe is like infinite air.
I think if you speak to Tanis actually, because I'm pretty sure it was Crufix and Clothis that are able to do that sort of stuff.
Well, pick on each other. I mean, that's very like the gods. But, often they tend to use mortals as their playthings as well. Just a fun little game.
Well,
On the
gods
note
do
of picking on
much-
each other, you guys would know that Crufix and Clothis are, as far as people are aware, siblings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
Maybe
that's what family does, right? They pick on each other, but ultimately they have each other's back when it's needed.
I don't know. Technically, all the gods are supposed to be a bit related, and some of them have done awful things to each other.
I was thinking more immediate family. I kind of get what you mean. I have a great aunt that I probably shouldn't bring up, but yeah.
Oh, interesting. I didn't really.
No, not really. More morbid.
Oh, I think we all have family like that somewhere down the line. Everyone's got a weird aunt.
I'll say at this point, you guys see Amalia step in through the door and join you guys.
I was going to say, as I see her come in, I'll pour like a glass and hand it over to where the free seat is.
Before she walks over to them, she walks over to the bar, gets a pitcher of wine, and a cup.
Mark off a gold piece. Oh wait, how much is wine again? Mark off a gold piece.
Okay, and she walks over and she just sits down with the pitcher, and I was like, it looks like you're deep in discussion. I thought this might help. And pours herself a little cup of wine and sippy sips.
Thanks. Do you guys know where you're heading to next? Obviously, if Jason and I are stepping back.
Well, I hope.
You mean where does this family end up next following the news? I don't know, truth be told.
Well, I hope you and Life stay together.
I'll say the same thing that I said to someone before. Families stick together when there's enough reason to stick together, when the trust and the knowledge of who each member is and is strong enough that bond is formed. Fortunately, when you grow up with your family, birth family, you kind of get that forgiven. But family you find and choose, that's a bit different. I get on with you all, but you still don't know much about me, and I don't know a great deal about all of you. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I've had a great time with you all, but what? I don't know a lot about you all.
Maria looks up from her cup and looks straight at Scrutinos, her like green and purple eye having like little teardrops in them. Well,
it's not. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm happy and I'm interested to find out. But this whole month of travel, we've had very specific goals in mind, and we've been very, very functional as a group. There's been a lot of work. Our work is good, but call me old-fashioned.
I feel like that's my fault. I mean, you guys probably haven't even met me in my best sort of like situation. I've been very stressed out and been probably trying to hurry you guys along. I would like to get to know you better, and if ever you're in Meletis, once I've set up, I'll be glad to offer you a hand. And I'm sorry if you feel that we've not been able to take our time with things, but obviously I think you understand why.
well, obviously you have a family, and so does Jason. It makes sense, but I don't. I don't have a family or anyone to go home to, per se. You are my family.
I guess my family is far enough spread that there may as well be for the time being. So I get that. It's I guess I am always somewhat comforted that I know that I could probably find one if I desperately needed to. But I also don't really keep as much in touch with my own relations. I don't know. I'd say the Dawn Greets less kind than they used to be with me. But, oh well.
So what do you want to know? You said you wanted to get...
really... Sure. Since, while we get the chance to, with the wound off, as it were. Jason, what is this debt that you struggle to forgive? I've been very confused by it, and you've never really detailed it in a lot, and I'd like to know.
I'm going to take a big old chug of the wine.
Okay.
And as it comes back down, there's a look on his face kind of before he says anything, which makes you feel he's probably said this in his head about 70,000 times, but he's only said it out loud probably about twice, if that. So it's that thing of kind of like it's struggling to kind of come straight to the surface initially. But as he looks over to Eslin and kind of sees her, and then is reminded of the time that she now has with her family, Jason looks around to the rest of the table. Calliope's gone at this point as well, isn't she?
Yeah, she's gone up to her room at this point.
Okay. Well, as he kind of looks out, he actually kind of looks to you, Amalia. This is when it comes to family, I don't have one myself. And for the longest time, I hated myself because I looked at Eston and there's the rest of you. They took their lives. Yeah, it's not a great conversation starter. Yeah, kind of places his hand upon yours.
Well, it sounds toughest to say is an understatement.
Jason,
Mm-hmm.
why did you take your life?
This is something that I've questioned multiple times as to how much was I in control of the situation and how much was it the gods controlling me.
I'm sorry.
But you've probably noticed most times, I refuse to lie, cheat, or steal, or do anything particularly deceptive. It's honestly one of the reasons why I didn't trust Defile the most. Action I do regret, but in the instant it happened, it was more of a bottled up emotion that was lashed out at one person. And if I do ever see her again, or if you see her again, I would like to apologize. But
I mean, I still don't trust her, but that's fair.
yeah, there's like there's like a knowing like we can probably trust her in some senses, but she's not the most savory character. Like just naturally. But my purpose for that is to try and avoid giving the god Phanex any kind of pleasure or leeway from my actions. I honestly, the thing that gets me the most is I didn't really do anything to the god himself. It was my son that did, and I was punished for it, and as was he by my hand.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That must have been the aftermath. Must have been.
I would say it happens, but it would taste a lie.
Well, I kind of know what you went through. I lost my mum when I was younger, and it happened in front of me. Me and my dad aren't on good terms for obvious reasons. But I understand the pain you must have felt, and I'm really sorry. You open for cat arms hug?
Yeah, and it's like a hand-to-hand thing.
Cortinus slowly takes a sip of his wine.
Galatea is halfway through her second wrap.
Wow. Well, that paints a more complete picture. Molly, why don't you speak with your dad?
He killed my mother in front of me.
I I apologise. It sounded like you alluded to it, but I just wanted to be sure I knew in my mind. That's tough.
And then as a child, I wasn't allowed any friends because I had to fight for the coven and make sure I was a good fighter. And every little thing I did because I wasn't a male, it was abusive. Let's just say that. And I hate him, and if I ever see him again, I'll bother kill him. Sorry, Justin.
No.
So when I was old enough, I ran away from home, and I became a bounty hunter to punish those that hurt other people.
I'm curious. When we arrived and met on Siras, you were looking for Henbane?
Mhm.
Why was that?
A job I took on. This man, he was killing. And when I found him, he had killed this girl. He was sucking her blood. And just before I could kill him, he killed himself. He said, I knew you were coming for me. And he used the flower to do it. So I wanted to know where the flower came from, who had it, and I knew it was bad people, so I wanted to get rid of them so they couldn't hurt anyone else like her again.
Did you find the source of that in the end? I mean, now my curiosity's piqued as well.
Oh yeah, we killed him.
Yes, it was Amalia and I's first adventure together. And Calliope as well.
So the
And
four
we
of
had
you
a
have been
blue-
through. Oh, but not Jason.
Yeah, I wasn't there for that one. I came across them when they arrived here, and whoo boy, was that an interesting first couple of days.
Yeah, that must have been a lot. Sorry about that. Also, I know
Yeah.
I didn't take lightly to you.
No, it's fine. It's completely understandable. It's fair to say that I probably won't be going to any saunas anytime soon in my life.
I did, in fact, promise to pay you. I will have to speak to my parents about that. Maybe
I'll
get
do
you some
that.
pocket money before you head out.
Actually, I think I can pay Jason. What do we owe Jason?
I think, as flattered as I am, you can keep the gold for yourselves. This has been a much more the reward of staying beside you has been enough.
Jason, can I let you in on a little secret?
Sure.
You're a good dad. Like, I feel like if I had a dad, I would. Well, I do have a dad, but he doesn't exist. But if I, could choose my dad, I would choose you.
Yeah, Jason takes that one to heart, and there's like he's usually a relatively stoic person, but this is there's something about it that like hits him hard in the feels.
You should all know the night before our final battle with the Shark Queen, Jason made a deal with me to make sure that you all survived over himself. Regardless of what happened down there, that last spell slot was to get all of you to safety on his request.
You do realize I would kill anyone that killed any of you guys, right?
I had no doubt. My priority at the time was getting Essen back to her family and you lot safe. But turns out you didn't need me to do that because I got knocked the fuck out.
Several times.
Multiple times.
Several times.
Multiple times.
It was
Multiple times.
impressive the number of times you regain consciousness to then start floating.
Man.
Well,
It's
truth
been
be told, we
fun.
were all knocked out. I got knocked out like 3-4 times.
It
That's why I
was,
gave you
it was
pretty
very intense. 45 seconds. That is for sure.
You say that, but without your
It
protection,
felt like 2 days.
Yeah.
without your protection,
Isn't-
Joseph, there was definitely a time where I would have gone down and then wouldn't have been able to kill the other members of our party. So
Ditto. There's sometimes where I question how I survived the battle, and then I look up and then I see you, and then I'm like, Dad, you know, protect the dad. Because to be honest, you're quite the dad in the group, and Eslen's quite the mum in the group. Escotanius is the wise but annoying. I think you're
Well,
older than.
Hold on.
I think
please.
Scatinos is the weird uncle.
Don't do me like that. I do not want the responsibility of knowing Jack.
Well,
Or
I
any,
feel like he's
or any
my
of Jack's
brother.
relatives.
Escotanius, how old are you?
Oh. The problem is, after a while, I was celebrating the same birthday constantly because I was like, if I just keep celebrating the same birthday, you never die.
Okay,
Rich.
so what's the same birthday that you keep celebrating?
Our 15th. 15.
Yeah,
15
okay.
in the quarter.
Yeah, okay, he might be the weird uncle.
That'll take.
I still think you're older than me, though.
Maybe. I said I haven't been keeping track of it.
Does Satus have like a tell or anything to kind of tell, like, see how old they are? Is there like a kind of like equivalent of graying hair?
Make a nature check.
Oh, okay. One of the things.
Can I give him guidance?
I've already shot. It rolled as you said it, so it's up to you, Liam.
Okay, how bad was the roll?
It was a 10, so it was bang in the middle.
Sure, I'll allow guidance.
Was that a D4?
Yeah.
If it's a 1. It's a 12. 12. 12 total.
I mean, you get the sense that he's at the very least post-adolescence,
Okay,
but
yeah, cool.
he doesn't look like he'd be in whatever the satyr equivalent of his 40s is.
Sure.
But he's sort of in that period of adult where he could be anywhere from 21 to 39.
Yeah, he's in a prime satyr age.
Yeah.
Yes.
Despite the fact his skin looks pale as hell, there's definitely the other side. Yeah.
Understood.
But see, he's a wise satyr, so he could be older than me.
Yes,
Well,
Scatinos,
see,
what
if I
about
was
you?
If I was to say I was wise, then that would be to say that there are no more mysteries left to solve, and I can think of no worse existence than when everything is already known.
Yeah,
Because
but
then
you're
what's
wise,
the point of anything?
but you're wise in the sense that sometimes I don't expect you to say like the smart thing, and then you come out with a smart thing, and then I look up at you and I'm like, wow, he's smart. I'm not really that smart. I'm smart in the sense that I can protect you in a fight, and kill anything that means to harm any of you, even Clive, because you guys know I love Clive. She's so little. She's so like,
Didn't she find her mum or something at one point? Or someone said that they found the mum. Talking about that in your house at one point.
So, I believe it was her sister that she lost. It's nothing she said completely outright, but when we were fighting against the Balgora, she was looking for somebody, and the Balgora mentioned that she looked very similar to somebody that she'd seen before.
I
I
feel
mean,
like
this
his
is
twin.
stuff.
sister.
Why don't we? Why have we never been told this stuff before?
Maybe
Well,
we-
I did offer her assistance when I thought I was going to Bashiros by myself, but she said she had no leads as to where to find them.
Yeah, but now that you say that, when we were in the, the swirly shell thing,
Mhm.
the whole someone looking like her popped up again. So I think she might want to go to that place to see if she's actually there.
Where was that place?
I didn't hear. I just heard someone that looked like her, and then I tried to hear the conversation, but I wasn't able to hear anything. Dyson was with her though.
Scottinos, do you remember?
Scottina
I
wasn't
was
there. It
in
was
another
me and Dyson.
driven your mind at the time, so no.
Yeah, it was just me. So I think the dude you're talking out of game. The dude you're talking about is the one that she had the kind of basic chat with once you were chatting with the other guy, right?
Yeah, I went and spoke to the Leon and came back to the table, and then you and her went and spoke to the other guy in the bar bit.
Yeah,
Correct.
Was he? Oh God, what was it? Was he a knight or a fighter of some kind, or like a protector?
He was he looked like a strong man, but he looked very much in his mid 50s to late 50s, mid to late 50s.
So I mean, like, I can't remember if he had like a military rank thing going on, or if he was like part of some kind of faction or something like that.
You got the sense from his physicality that he may have had a military background at one point.
Yeah.
Then again, that's not necessarily that unusual for anyone from Akros.
Yeah.
No, he mentioned to Calliope that he was here on diplomatic business. He was there on diplomatic business.
Sorry. Yeah, that was it. Yep. Well, I assume with Bashiros in the state that it's in now, having been free, I guess. I wonder if he would have stayed, or if he would have, or whether his business would have ended there.
Well, we've left now. Probably would have been worth checking that before we left. Oh well. We could always go back since we're friends.
Well, if we needed to speak to the princess, I could probably send her a message and ask if he left any contact details, because I assumed that as soon as Tallulah was out of the way, he probably stuck around and did business with her, if he's as tenacious as you guys mentioned.
Well, if anything, we shouldn't do anything unless Calliope wants us to. I wouldn't want to...
Agreed. It's definitely worth having a conversation with her and seeing how
You don't want
comfortable
them
she
going
is.
off on their own, though. You seem to have a habit of people in this family going off, wanting to do their own thing, and ending up dead. On that,
Yes.
guys, wherever you go, don't die. Just doing whatever you're doing.
I can guarantee you that where I am going, there will be no harm that will come to me in terms of a usual.
Yeah, but didn't the other guy
beast.
promise that exact thing?
that was kind of our fault. I feel really bad about what happened to Ganassi.
Yeah, I honestly.
It seems odd, he says, scoffing his face, that he called himself by what he was. I mean, is that just some typical Hiziran thing, or what?
No, he lost his name. Actually, while we're on the subject, I actually was visited by since I'm like heading out at some point, Clothis came to me in a dream and told me that we need to look after Tanis.
Jazz music stops.
Oh, wait. Back up.
So you got another god that's talking to you now as well.
Well, hopefully they'll leave me alone when I retire, but
If every single priest that I have ever known, or every single temple goer, has anything to do with that, no. I think the demands just keep getting higher and higher until your flesh falls apart.
Your hope.
And then maybe you'll get a rest.
Yeah.
maybe. So yeah, we might need to keep an eye on Tanis. I don't remember what she said, but maybe I should keep Tanis in my house now. That would
Well,
make
she did
sense,
like
right?
you.
Because she said our destinies were intertwined and all that.
Maybe?
Can they be intertwined if you're retiring? Like, does that work with destinies?
Well, I could adopt her, I guess, like, and give her some eyes. I assume that might be something I could do at some point.
That was it. And I
Okay,
reach
we
into my pocket and I pick out like the last 2 Woe Strider eyes I've got. And I go, did we decide against that in the end? I forget.
I would also
I thought
bring
it
out
was
my
worth an
the Cyclops
idea.
eye I have. The Cyclops eye that I have said, I've actually been holding on to this for a while, and it's not looking its best. What is the purpose of what? I kind of remember why I am holding on to this.
Oh god, I
I just like,
oh god, I just snorted.
Okay, so maybe we should go have a conversation with Tanis tomorrow.
Okay, do we talk to Calliope about her
Oh.
sister first, and then we talk to Tanis, or?
I mean, if Calliope needs a bit of time, we're here for a week anyway, so.
Do Calliope and Tanis have the same god, like, confirmed?
Do who?
Tanis and Calliope.
No, Calliope follows Nyx, and Tanis follows Clothis.
Okay.
Nicta, but yes.
Oh, is it Nycta?
Yeah, because Nyx is something else in Theros. Nyx is the fabric of the realm of the gods. That's what they named it.
Nyx is heaven, and it, like,
Yeah, I would have used Nyx, but then there was that thing, and so I just reflavored it to Nicta in the same way that Heliod instead of Helios.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
Okay.
Question, did you look up the word for knight in Greek, and then you just made it into a god?
No.
Insight check.
Make an insight check.
On the DM. Brilliant.
Make an insight check on the DM. Go on. I'll be fair.
The whole team rolls at the same time.
Can we all roll one?
No, just Jason. Just Jason.
Oh no, I was saying on behalf of Amalia.
Go on, Amalia.
Oh,
Go on, Amalia.
He's got
Make
the
an
highest
insight check.
insight.
Oh wait, can
That's
I actually
cheating.
roll my dice, please? Like, can I not roll it on D&D Beyond? I feel like D&D Beyond is like...
D&D Beyond. Sorry, D&D Beyond.
What am I rolling for now?
Insight.
Oh, insight. Come on, lucky
I actually
insight.
laugh my head off.
I mean,
Please.
Holy shit, yes!
okay.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yes, I totally did that. In fact, some of the place names and stuff you guys have swung by and things like that have totally been sort of adopted from the Greek language and other things. Sorry?
I would have never picked up on it, you know, not being Greek and all.
Is this why you automatically took a distrust to Skotinos?
No, that was
The
just
dark-
his general vibe.
The
Yeah,
dark
to be
bastard,
fair,
in fact.
it looked like evil.
Yeah, I mean
Well-
that too.
You
Yeah.
turn into a puddle of blood out of nowhere, so...
I mean, yeah, that's true. That does happen. Sorry.
Technically, he's not the only one that can do that. That was still a very surreal experience.
I know, so things you're gonna miss when you're off gallivanting in the hills. Where did you say where you're heading to?
My home is... Oops, hold on a second. I need to actually make sure I get this one right.
I mean, me to
Yeah,
ask actually, because
you
you said
get lost, yeah,
Isles.
It was literally improvisation coming out the word. I don't want to fucking go back on it.
No worries. I just oh shit, did I forget something?
No, you didn't. It was me being in the zone and me then not wanting to be. You know what? Let me rephrase that.
Okay, sure. No, that is reasonable.
Yeah. It is the. We reside in Ferres. It is Ferres, right?
The Fetters Battlegrounds, yes.
Oh, he's in the battleground.
They are known as the Battlegrounds because they are home to the more combative tribe of centaurs, as opposed to the Lagona, which are more merchants.
Jason,
Dark, bro.
Jason, when you go back home, will you...
You're not a Lagona, right, Jason? You're a Feres centaur.
Yeah.
I don't know why everyone's hiding. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
No, this is an out of character thing. Oh, I'm surprised. I'm not gonna lie, but reasonable. Have a nice day.
Why is he like an evil centaur?
Not particularly. There's like two tribes of like centaurs. One's like the fighty boys, and the other ones are like the crafty boys. And like the crafty boys get like railed every fucking time. So yeah.
Oh, beg your pardon. So, what would anyone like to continue doing this evening? If you guys, unless you guys want to.
I'm gonna have to work out what I get, what of this loot I get to put towards my own ends at some point.
Yeah.
Gonna be honest, I've got things I can do with it, but
Yeah. I think you've had 10 gold since we met you, right?
No, he's
yeah.
I
Truth be
think
told,
I-
that was an IOU I had for someone
Oh, yeah.
in that
True.
cross, so I do actually need to give that 10 at some point as well. So I've had its cool cloak, and funnily enough, Daxos forgot to ask for it back, so I suppose I still got this to, for swimming off.
The DM forgot to ask for it back. Daxos would have asked for it back.
Ow! Like, Daxos comes in saying one more thing, and he just says, "Oh, fine," just like chucks it at him, and just goes back to drinking.
Reasonable, have a nice day. And then leaves.
Well, now I am truly poor.
We should probably just split
In
it.
wealth and in spirit.
Well,
We should probably just split it from ways, right?
couldn't we just give it into somewhere and then we get the exact gold pieces back in how much the pearls and stuff is, and then we split it between us?
Diamonds are worth keeping as they are.
That's a good point. Or we could just.
If you have a cleric.
Oh yes, that's gonna be a shame, isn't it? Thanks for rubbing it in. He smirks and like nudges you and then continues drinking.
I mean, I can find you another cleric. I will, this week, I will find you another cleric to replace me. I'm sure they will be lovely.
It's like Craigslist, but for clerics.
But if we lose you, who's gonna? No one can replace Tyson.
Oh, it's a good question. I don't know.
Katinas, will we still go on adventures together?
As long as it's still interesting. Like you've already, I've got an interesting thing about Jason. Eslin, I pretty much know Eslin's entire history because she screams it with the family or everything.
You don't actually
Bruh.
know about me apart from the facts about my family and stuff like that. But there is a lot more to me.
Oh, is
Like
there?
I was a person before I was a mother and a wife. Like, yeah.
Oh,
Well, from what I gathered from what you and Calliope were doing, when we were trying to get information from people, you're quite a wild one, Eslen.
Yes. But I get very good at not doing that. Vashira's high society is absolute fucking trash, to be honest with you.
oh, great thing about Meletis is you can't get any lower than the gutter.
Yeah, true.
Just
true.
one guy at a table. I was like, hey, fuck you, buddy.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's good. One guy at the table, his head is like down in a pile of food, and he's just passed out completely.
But no, I guess you don't actually know that much about me as a person, but that's absolutely fine.
Well, you seem to be quite a strong woman that would fight for the people that she does. And you're quite empowered, I would say.
Yeah, that's good enough for me.
Yeah, I'll keep travelling, I guess. I do. I would have liked us all to put this urn back where it belongs. It just seems to be the right thing to do. But I guess that will have to be a task for another family, I suppose.
One thing I would probably say as well is, and this is actually, I'm going to come out of it real quick. So, Alex to the party, this is way back when, but wasn't there like a whole like undead army thing going on?
Yep.
that we kind
And
of.
the one that we kept saying because we didn't want to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
The,
also
the
why,
DM will clarify here, just because this is information that would have handed to you guys. There's kind of always an undead thing going on. There are 2 entire polis within Theros that are comprised entirely of returned, those who have clambered out of the underworld. There's Asphodel, which is largely regarded to be fairly isolationist. They kind of just want to keep to themselves. And then there is Odunos, yes, which are undead that resent the state they have come back in and take it out on the living.
Thank you very much. That is something that I would like to mention forward.
Church of Erebos, the cult of Erebos, the Temple of Erebos, view them as a blight and an abomination. Yeah. The ones of Athreos, too, just to clarify. And just have a standing reward for proof of kill.
Yeah.
This is the masks of the returned, I think.
Yeah.
Thingies.
It's not the only way, but they consider that an easier form of thing than sloppy meat chunks.
So me being a kind of disciple of the Erebos, I would
correct?
know that, right?
Yeah. Well, this is widely known information.
The list of quest logs, as it were, in what you've got left of Ganassi's journal in Ezra's backpack has the breakdown of that as well.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like I was mentioning more in the sense of like as a potential direction to go, that's like something that like we are aware that needs to be resolved, and if it hasn't been resolved by now, especially considering we've just beaten one of the toughest bosses that we've probably come across, it can definitely be something, because I think before
you should meet my aunt.
I now have this really terrifying image of like Satyr Witch Hag.
Hastily scrolls notes.
Yeah. I'll send you my notes.
Enjoy. Have it. Yes, I guess. There's plenty of things that are being done. There was a bounty, I think it's gone now, for town that had issues with people being murdered, and there was
the salt tonight.
And there's like a brief moment where like Ganassi's spirit is like floating beside us, just like fucking just go.
How's it done?
But I'll probably like raise a glass and be like, well, here's to Tempest's future adventures, whatever they may be, in whichever form they may be.
Indeed. Here's the Tempest. Also, can I have the boat?
No, we're still keeping the boat between us.
Oh, okay. But are you both advocating your co-ownership of the boat? Just out of curiosity, I'm just keeping track of this.
Like I'd probably laugh and just feel and see how badly he wants it, and I'll probably say some kind of limerick in Sylvan, or some kind of like metaphor in Sylvan that only they would know of, like, dude, it's okay, yeah.
I mean, if I do set up a trading route, which I would like to do, I would probably just store stuff on board at some point and have you take it. So on that basis and that agreement, yes. I am, if not anything, a businesswoman.
That's fine. We can talk about that whole thing when we get to it.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah.
All right.
Tomorrow, I'm going to go to the Temple of Farrakhan because I want to get some idea with whether or not I can leave this longer or shorter. This puzzle. But for now, drink. Yes. Where's the wine gone?
You drank it all. Do you want me to come?
Whoa. I did not even realise I did. Yes, more wine.
I will.
All right.
That one.
Mark off another 7 gold for another Grecian urn of wine.
Scottiness is grateful.
Also, just a side note, I forgot. These spears that we got from the temple, those are just sellable things, right? Because they weren't anything special. I just picked up a few of them.
Yeah, you didn't tell Daxos about them, so
No, I was
had you, he would have.
Well, that's the thing. I was going to say just kind of quick retcon because I forgot that I had them. That I would have kind of handed those over as just like some base things that he might be able to create things out of if he needs to. Just those aren't in my party anymore.
He takes those, he says, he would have said, unfortunately, they're distinct enough that they definitely belong to Barakos. If these ever found out that they didn't get back to... I will have to return these to the people of Noland, but for the trouble, I can make some stuff out of spears. That's easy enough to do.
Okay, that means I would have probably given him my spears as well.
Yeah, he would have had to basically take anything that came from the tomb.
Yeah.
Cool. I will remove that from me.
Okay, and unless you guys wish to, roleplay the getting sloshed, I can say you guys have a wonderful evening where you get plenty fucking wasted.
Getting fucking slashed, mate.
Yeah, and all turn in. Mark off 5 silver each for another room, unless you guys have other plans.
Someone able to get mine?
I'll pay for Scotty's.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's not easy being poor.
Okay.
I play D&D to escape.
That's why I never liked Spider-Man. Like, I was a loser in high school in real life. Why would I want to fantasize about that in a superhero?
I'm a loser. Yeah, I get that.
What are we? 5 gold? 5 silver? I didn't hear.
5 silver. 5 gold
you.
is other side of town.
Well, I don't know what you're doing with your D&D life. World.
I see how it is. Alright, you guys...
My character.
You guys spend a lovely long rest, deep sleep, snoring loudly, and just finally, like, cause the whale was a bit rocky, and this is, first time you've been on firm ground in a while, and you just... go ahead and take a long rest if you need it. Alright, the day breaks, you guys get up fairly late, as it was a late night. What is... I know you're doing the, going to visit, Penelope, I presume. What is anybody else doing today, if anyone would like to do anything?
Go see, oh god, what's her name? Who did we save? The little girl?
Tennis.
Oh, tennis.
Yeah, well, are we gonna go see tennis?
You guys can... Tennis.
Tennis.
Thank you. You guys can go with Scotinos to Penelope, or you can go independently to Tannis while he's doing that. Like, how do you guys dice the day up?
Eslin's gonna spend the day with her family, talking about some serious shit. And then probably gonna go around the temples looking for another cleric to replace her.
We'll put a pin in that. Maybe I'll be that last out of today. Let's start with Scotty. You, is anybody joining him?
Yeah, I think... Oh god, actually. It feels weird doing this without Calliope here. But like, I probably spend the day with whoever requires it, and then like make the plans make the plans for the sailing ship to go to the Theros Islands. Like for the evening that day, for instance.
Mm-hmm. They're not islands. It would be a landlocked trip, just to clarify.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, easy enough to do. You would know the journey quite well, and so you can begin to gather supplies and whatnot. We'll say you're with Scotinos. So Scotinos, you trek back towards, because the Sorcerous Sundries is not actually that far from, or Secret of Sundry, I can't remember what I called it. Let me know. It's actually not that far from the Crucible, so, make your way back in that direction, and easy enough. You see Penelope just in the middle of just, like, carefully dolloping out drops of something onto a pile of powder, and then she sort of spoons that powder into a big cauldron. Ah. Red One, you return.
long time no see. Business booming, I hope.
No, about as much as any other time.
Well, perhaps this to help entice those interested in more exquisite stock. And I will offer, from the remainder of what I've got, see what I'm offering now. I am offering 2 Spider Eye Stalks, a vial of Rostmonster blood, 2 Woe Strider Eyes, and a vial of Woe Strider blood, and 3 things that I have written down, and I'm just going to quote it. Hold a thing, eye stalk thing. 3 of those.
Spectator eye stalks.
That sounds about right.
She gathers us all in a big pile. This is wonderful. This is wonderful indeed. Very well done, very well done. This will go a long way. She sort of starts examining them.
What mysteries do some of these unlock that you know of already?
These eye stalks. They've been used once before. The creature these ones came from was a construct made by eye stalks that were severed from the original creature. Perhaps they could be used in such a manner again. These are separated from the Weave of Destiny, as is the creature they belong to. She's holding up the Worst Rider Eye. Maybe they could grant one the ability to step off their own path, if even just a toe. I shall have to find out.
I look forward to hearing what wonders you uncover.
I will see to it that they are used to their full potential, so that your work is handsomely rewarded. And Scotinas, as you do so, you feel a, just like a pulse of almost like venom in your veins. But instead of being unpleasant, it's reinforcing. I'll say take a +5 to your piety. For everything. Though I recommend investing in some sort of preservation container or preservation magics.
I was thinking something on this line as well. I worried that although salt water may preserve some better than others, it could be an effect. Is there anything you could recommend yourself?
The Daughters of Nelia have these caskets that are able to keep temperatures low.
The coldings.
Yes. I may be able to design something, but it would take me some time.
Well, I will be here for a short while, a week at least, I believe.
Anything I design would likely be a tonic, though, and one use only. My recommendation is spend a little more now on something permanent.
Would you and Daxos perhaps be able to combine your ability of preserving with something more able to withstand, or hold such magics?
That may be yet possible. I shall consult him on the matter. If you return within a couple of days, I shall have a definitive answer for you.
And always a pleasure. He will step out, and his next thing would be to head to the Temple of Farika This he would do on his own. So if anyone travelled with him to the Temple, he'd asked to go separately to the Temple of Farika, and he would rejoin everyone afterwards.
Very well. Okay, easy enough. You find your way and make your way to the Temple of Farika. So you step inside, you see the similar serpentine glyphics that adorn the altars, the offerings of snake skins and blood and other bilious substances, as well as beautiful flowers that you recognize some of the genuses as being with healing remedies. The offerings have a mixture of harmful and helpful. And the familiar statue of the shrouded woman with the headdress that covers her eyes, and the two vipers coming out of her, a disc in her chest that wrap around her arms.
And I will, as I am, I've still yet to take any of the coin, I will instead grab one of my own vials for this purpose. And I will, in fact, actually, no, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I will take out 2 vials of blood, one of Tannis, and one of... Oh no, I don't have that one anymore. So it's just, yes, the blood from Tannis, and so just one vial of Tannis' blood, and then I will use my blade to drain some of my own blood into the second vial, and I will mix those over the cauldron. While I will also have outstretched in front of me the spell tome that we acquired from Thassa with the biomancy spells, and I will offer the vials into the cauldron. I am going to meditate for a short while on the worth of the worth or potential within the spell book for my own ends.
Very well. You sort of, you don't so much try to cast the spells, but you sort of study some of the motions they describe, and you feel something. Like the beginning, like you feel like, as you sort of go through the motions, you feel like this is possible. It's unclear how long it could necessarily take, but devoting the time to it, you could absolutely... You get the sense you could absolutely master some of these.
Cool. And yeah, I'll spend my time doing that until the time I plan to meet up with everyone else, and then I will pack up and return.
Okie dokie. Eslin. So you are able to catch up with your family again, who have been staying with Daxos for the past couple days. Your husband Kodos suggests you guys try to look for a more permanent place.
Yeah, that will be what she agrees to as well. And she'll start planning with like her mother and father about like how to best manage their assets and what they've brought with them to Meletis. Because you said they cleared their vault, right?
Your mother would say, "We cleared what we could. I'm afraid Tallulah commandeered most of it elsewhere. So the swaths of our fortune are unaccounted for, but we were able to make off with what remained, which amounted to some 10,000 gold pieces."
Okay, that should be enough to get up a little shop then. Yes, I think that with the princess's help and obviously maybe providing some rarities, we should be able to gain a foothold here to keep ourselves, you know, relatively stable, if not relatively wealthy.
No, We were never ones for being accustomed to pedigree, as it were. We've made do before, we'll make do again.
Yeah.
The important thing is we have each other, and she pinches your cheek.
Yeah, of course. I wonder what, I don't know. Let's get cracking then. We've never been afraid of hard work. Let's see
No,
what
we
can do.
have not. Okay, I will say make an investigation check with advantage.
Hey. Yo. That would help if I could ever roll above a 7. Okay, that's the first roll.
Oh! Oh no! Oh no!
Why? Why am I so cursed? That's for fuck's sake, man!
You know what? I'm gonna give... Okay, so are you looking for, sorry, a shop or a house or like a combined thing?
Well, my suggestion would probably be Eslin wants to find a gap in the market, like something that's missing from Meletis first, and then be like, yes, house shop combined. Hey. And she does want it to be quite close to Daxos because she knows that he is like very well, you know, that he does a lot of business because he's the only magic trader in the whole of Theros.
Okay, you can absolutely, if you wish to, consult him on this as well, if you know, wished some amount of input on...
Yeah, sure, let's go talk to my bro.
Basically, let me rephrase that. You can mitigate your roles by consulting with the DM, i.e. his avatar, or then his proxy Daxos.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So yeah, you guys are sitting in his apartment. There's like a plate of dried figs out, just chatting. I know a few of the lots around here were up for vacancy. Some of them might even have living quarters attached to them, similar setup to mine. What are you guys looking to get into?
Well, we thought we might use our connections in Vishiros to provide some rarer, you know, sea things. Sorry, it's been a while. I've been using my, you know, cellar sort of thing.
No, that can certainly be arranged.
Well, do you think there's a market for it here? I know that obviously it is a port town, so... But then again, Vishiros is relatively untapped, so...
It's also much a port town, it is also the port town, so to speak. If there's anywhere outside of Under the Waves that would have a presence of Thassa above others, it would be Meletis. So I do think there's absolutely space there. We also have the city has the largest population of Tritons outside of the Triton cities themselves, so there'll certainly be demand for something that reminds them of home. The best way you can stand out, I find, is quality. There are other shops that can do what I do, but not to the degree that I do, for example.
Well, we've been jewelry makers for a few years now. Maybe we should stick to what we know.
Well, from what you tell me, that elevated you to the height of nobility from simple merchants. Seems like...
If it wasn't for the fact we were loaded, probably not, but, you know how it goes.
Seems like you've got that line of business on lock, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Very well. How married are you to your previous life of luxury?
Not really. I mean, we've still got our underwater holdings, but I assume that my brother might move in there if he decides to stay.
If you have a liaison with your brother, then that could also even simplify things.
True. Setting spell is very helpful.
Sorry, if you're saying something right now, my speaker's cut out. 1 second.
Please.
Okay, Alright. Why don't we go see what's available?
Sounds good. Property shopping together. Oh, how niche. We shan't tell Calliope, of course.
Daxos just rolls his eyes at you.
And
So-
then she's going to go into like an hour-long speech about how we should date Calliope and how cute she is and how much she loves her.
Daxos will just turn to you, sort of, as you're saying this, will be like... Sorry, I'm just a little... You know when you're trying to find the words?
You know it's only 50% serious and 50% to wind you up, right?
No, I know. Which is why I'm trying to pick the right words. I don't want to come across as being obtuse about this, because that would be the last thing I want. At the same time, I just don't think she sees me that way, and that's fine.
I'm never really sure, to be honest with you. If we're being for real. If she does, she'll initiate it by herself. I just...
No, I know.
Picture affection.
When she stepped into the shop for the first time, I saw maybe the second person ever who might actually get it. Second person ever who might actually see me for who I am and not what I am. So, I admit I, maybe leapt on that with a little enthusiasm. But that's my problem, and I'll deal with that. Maybe it's time I, just try to open up to people in general anyway.
Yeah. I mean, if it's meant to happen, it will happen. I just like to pick on you for it. Because
know.
you two are so cute. And I am an old woman. Let me have my pleasures, you know?
By all means. And,
But,
if it doesn't, it doesn't. She is her own
Yeah.
person, and so am I.
yeah, I get you. Right. House shopping it is then. Let's
All right.
roll.
So he, after looking around a bit, he does know a few of the spots. He is able to lead you to this, actually fairly cozy compared to your previous setup. But nonetheless not, but then nonetheless sizable for an average human's abode. It's a sort of average size house. There is a section which, there's a front room essentially, which could act as a shop. There's a front building that faces out on the street, which is sort of just a relatively large, kind of 20 by 40 feet, 40 feet? I can't math. We'll say 40 feet. Well, that will be more like 20 by 15 by 35 foot room, which you guys get the sense, he says, this could be a shop. And he sort of just explained, like, he just points, put a counter there and racks here. You could have a decent setup. He leads you through, the doorway, which sort of is, there's one door to this room other than the one that leads to the street, and he leads you through that, and you see a courtyard that is supported by a few pillars. There's some amount of sections of shade towards the back. It's like half and half, this courtyard, which goes back about 40 feet, and The latter half, the further half, has got columns supporting a canopy of stone. In the middle, there is a sort of elevated marble plinth. You gather once housed an idol or an altar to a god, but has since been that idol has been moved away. There are adjacent rooms. One that seems to have clearly been a small room that has housed a store. Another one that housed a dining room. There's still a table in it. That's how you know it's a dining room. But otherwise, it's a largely empty space. Secondary storeroom, and then towards the end of the courtyard, there is a staircase that goes upwards to the second floor, which leads to a series of bedrooms. To give you an idea... Oh god, not again. Stupid Google links.
Cute. Yeah, I'll take it.
Cool. This one will run you about 2,000 gold drachmi.
Okie dokies. As well as I guess over the week, Eslin will get a painter in, and she wants to get one of the portraits that Ganassi had enlarged and put on the wall.
Very well.
And then she's also going to start...
There's no furniture, by the way. I need to clarify that.
That's cool. No worries. I can ship some from...
Out of curiosity...
You would know that the sort of living anemones which act as beds would not survive out of the water.
I thought I had wooden furniture as well, though.
You also... Yeah, no, I'm kidding you. I was just clarifying the bed specifically. No, you would be able to get some of your wooden furniture shipped out. That's easy enough.
Out of curiosity, how do you remove the pieces of art from the book?
Oh, I wouldn't remove them. I'd just get them copied large.
Cool. Okay, that's fine. I won't say anything.
I wouldn't rip his book open.
That's fine.
Unless you want me to rip his book open.
No, I was just double checking what you were doing with it.
Rip his book open.
No, I was just asking what you were doing with it.
Oh, I don't like that look you're giving me. I'm frightened. Should I rip the book open? Is it gonna die? Is it gonna explode?
I think it's protected by magic. So I think you're good.
Okay. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, cool.
Okay, I will say that the rest of the furniture, as well as getting this, sending the various letters to start shipped out, sort of getting quotes on what loading that up will cost, it's probably going to come to another 1,500 gold to get the house done.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm also going to start selling Tempest merch as well. Just because, why
nice.
not?
Chitons, cloaks,
Just
sandals with a little lightning bolt.
You can get a little songbook of all the songs that Calliope and Scatinas have come up with.
Yeah, definitely.
An Amalia bobblehead that's got the arms
But yeah, that's how Eslin will spend her week, and then she will just be checking all the temples for someone who looks hench.
Go ahead and make an investigation check for the hench. Oh, sorry, my audio cut out again. I gotta get this looked at. How much? 15?
13.
Oh, 13. You find a few candidates in terms of henchness. Fewer of them are cleric, and of those that are, unfortunately, you get the sense they might not be able to keep up with Tempest.
Fucking losers.
Yeah, the cleric of Iroas, in his proud hoplite, the war cleric, he's sort of proud. I think his name was, he says his name was Erifialtes, and you're oh, loser, and you're oh.
Oh no, 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 no! I didn't mean you. Of course, I didn't mean you. Do you want a job at a shop?
I am a warrior. I do not work in a shop. I respect those who do, but that is not my calling.
Okay. Well, good luck. I hope you find something.
Thank you. He says, like, visibly confused. Okay, unless anyone has any order of business for the rest of the week, I will say a week goes by, you guys spend some downtime. You guys are also crashing you're helping Eslin set up her new house, you know, it's like the end of The Princess and the Frog when they're, like, setting up shop. You know, a montage of, like, with, like, so happy days painting with, like, the rollers and, you know, Eslin, you spot some hoof prints of, like, paint, and you see Scotinus, who does, like, a cheeky grin, and you're like, oh, you. And then the title card rolls.
You see, Scatina's using magic to sort of like paint one of the walls, and like so, it's a lovely red color. But then, for some reason, you realize that he's just like using a spell to kind of cast it, and you're like, wait a minute, wait, no, Scatina's no.
Especially because the second that dries out, it's going to be brown.
Yeah.
And just to clarify, Eslin, the image I sent you, I sort of envisioned a other section, like just jutting out where the courtyard is. But you know what? Actually, following that to a T is fine. It's up to you.
Yeah. So, you know, I assume that this house is slightly bigger than needed to support my family.
It is slightly bigger, so... well, okay. So, it's big enough for the 5 of you.
Yeah. Is there a guest bedroom?
I'll say that that room that's labeled storeroom or shop can be converted into a guest bedroom if you like. There is a additional section. So if you imagine there's another room that's where that entrance to the courtyard is, but sort of juts out about 15 feet and is as wide as that house is, that's the shop I was picturing.
Yeah, perfect. She will use that storeroom
It's like if this
as
is
a guest bedroom then.
Yeah, you can have the storeroom or shop as a sort of large guest room. Yeah, the one that's labeled as that.
Fab.
All right. Yeah, you guys are setting up. So you get towards the end of the week and you get a message saying that your equipment is ready to collect. Oh, sorry, I forgot. About halfway through the week, Penelope would have arrived to would have sent word to you, Scotty, saying that it is doable and would run you maybe a few hundred gold pieces to create something like that.
Cool. I make a note of the price, and when we start divvying up worths and stuff, I'll put that towards it. Did she give me a time frame for how long it would take?
Between her and Daxos, I'd say 3 days.
Okay. I request that she begins working on it, saying that I am definitely good for it, and I know I've said that before, but it's a case I need to break. We need to sell the gems for a proper worth, but that'll be done in time for her to be recompensated for it.
Very well. Cool, easy enough. So it gathers sort of towards about the end of the week, and she will inform you that it is ready at this time as well. She will mention that the sort of the final stages were done by Daxos, so you can pick it up from him.
Well, pay Daxos, and that will cover both.
Yeah, she said he'll. Yeah, he could cover it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Cool. So you guys gather, head back to the Crucible for your things, and as you step inside, you see Daxos in the process of having a discussion with someone. You see a tall female figure with sort of long flowing hair and unusual skin. It's almost weirdly flawless with sort of a hint of a glow to it. It's she's wearing a scale armor which is adorning her frame that has sort of leaves and nature filigree across the armor itself, but every now and then you see symbols of like flames and things like that as well. Daxos in the middle of saying, I can appreciate you came a long way, but you must understand this is a little unusual. Paige, if you'd like to describe what they see.
So you see a relatively tall woman, about like 6'4". She she is like obviously she's got the armor as described, but she is currently like sort of she's sort of hooded, and she has like extremely like long hair all the way down her back, and she is quite muscular, like quite broad. She's got very sort of like sharp features, but in a very, very pretty way, like almost how Calliope is like ethereally beautiful. She's sort of ethereally very slightly different way. Like she gives a sort of Calliope vibe, but not quite. And she's just sort of like leaning, like sort of like leant back with her arms crossed, like, please, I've asked you very nicely. I've travelled all the way from Sartessa, and well, I'll be honest with you. I thought that you might be helpful. Like, I'm a very good smith, and I think that I could be very helpful to you as much as you are to me. I'm just asking if you train me.
Daxos hears the door open. Excuse me a moment. And he sort of gestures you guys over. Guys, welcome. Thank you for coming.
Did we come at a bad time? Do you want us to come back, or?
No, this is, sorry, what was your name again?
Rhea.
This is Rhea. She, came all the way from Sartessa to learn how to smith. More so than she already does.
I was more interested in magical smithing. I'm a pretty good smith myself. Not to brag, it's just true. Hi. How's
Hi.
it going?
Good. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. And as she looks at you, you see her eyes are like completely like devoid of like they've got no pupils, no sclera, like they're completely like white.
Are you blind as well? Sorry, we've come across a lot of blind people.
Daxos audibly cracks up laughing.
No, actually, I'm sort of how do you put it? Like I can see really well, like really well. And
so can most of us. You're not special. So no, Daxos does not say that.
but yeah, I'm not. No, I can see fine. Can you
Okay.
see fine?
I imagine so. I haven't bumped into anything accidentally yet. Well, not this morning.
I imagine the two of them look very strange, actually, because obviously Scatinos' eyes are like super black with red pupils, and hers are like all white with no pupils.
Yeah.
So
And
it's like-
Daxos's
it's
look
really
like
terrifying.
Calliope's look like sort of smoky white,
Yeah.
like phantoms, and Daxos's look like burning hot embers. So this is
Yeah.
like,
And then Dyson looks over to Amalia, who he sees has got like heterochromia and two different coloured eyes, and he just has a little bit of a moment like, oh, I don't feel spit. I'm half horse, and somehow I feel like the odd one out.
Daxos snaps his fingers, and all of a sudden, Jason, your eyes are like oonce, oonce, oonce,
Yeah.
oonce, going through different colors. Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel better now.
am I aware that they're going through different colors? I'm assuming that I can still see as normal. It's not like a.
You are
film
seeing
stage,
light
is it?
coming off of you, and you can put two and two together and figure out what's happened.
Yeah.
It's a good look for you.
Thank you, much appreciated.
Jason, the party horse.
I mean, you might make it difficult to sneak. I feel like, flashing lights. Unless you pretend to be that bloody wisp again.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that wisp. I
Remember
hated
that
it.
wisp?
That was.
Yeah.
We now just started a conversation in front of Rhea.
Yeah.
Just like-
Yeah, like, and halfway through it was oh yeah.
Daxos just turns to Rhea, UDT Rhea says, they do this sometimes. This is
you guys
Tempest.
are very interesting, but if you're not going to help me, I'm going to go and see the flame speakers in Akros instead.
Wait a minute. Eslin.
What is Eslin here? Oh, I thought she was still sorting stuff in the family.
No,
No,
Eslin,
I'm here. Hi.
Oh, that's so weird.
Eslin meet Rhea, Rhea meet Eslin. What I would love is for the two of you to have an in-depth conversation about each other's personalities.
Well, Alexis, can you not help her a little bit? I mean, yeah, that would be really helpful, actually, if you don't mind. Well, please. You're always willing to help us. Is she a follower of Porphyros, I guess?
So she claims.
Is there no way she can
Eslin's gonna insight check her own fucking self.
Can she not prove what she is?
Well, sort of. So here's the thing, right? Yes, a great fan of Porphyros, great fan of his work.
This is
However-
Thassa all over again.
However, do you know much about Satessa? Anyone? I don't.
Who the hell is the person?
It's like a northeast of here.
No.
Oh, well, it's the home of Kamametra, and it's protected quite closely by Nelia as well. So, yes, I'm a follower of Porphyros, but also I have great respect for the other gods as well, so yeah. Well, that's actually very strange. That's a very strange combination of gods you've got going on there, really. Especially, yeah. I mean, she looks like she needs help.
Does she look like No, never mind. I couldn't word that the right way. Never mind.
Does she
No.
look what?
No,
Does she look like a bitch?
Does she look like a bitch? No, I was going to
Pulp
say, like,
Fiction
I was
reference.
going to say in terms of like how she appears, because obviously, so she looks similar to Calliope Daxos in like that kind of ethereal.
She
nature,
looks
but not the
humany. She looks humany, otherworldly, but not in the same way.
No, exactly. That's what
Her
I'm saying.
hair is. You've noticed that all three of the half nymphs you've ever met
Yeah.
are sort of characterized by matching hair and eyes of a unnatural color that
Yeah.
generally corresponds to the element of their parentage.
Yes.
This
yeah.
is not that. She
Okay.
has sort of white eyes that have a faint glow to them, and normal what color hair?
It was like red, but she sort of like dyed her tips to look more flamey because she's lame.
Okay, so like a yellowy end tip, so it looks like a fiery hair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does she have like a bronze foam finger?
No.
Daxa says, "How were you trained again, Rhea?"
Well.
Not in smithing. I meant as
Oh, is that really important for what I need here?
I mean, I took a frost giant axe to the face a few days ago because I was hunting for ingredients. Ingredient hunting is part of enchanting.
Well, that's something I'm very good at, I'll have you know. But yeah.
Ingredient hunting or taking an axe to the face?
Both, actually.
Great.
So, have you ever heard of the Millennial Warriors?
I have. Jason, and I'll roll for Calliope, make a history check. Scotty too.
Scotty, yeah.
Ooh, 18.
Okay, Rhea, if you would like to, and maybe Paige, out of character, because I don't actually have that note up at the moment.
So the Millennial Warrior, basically, the way that Setessa is defended is there's like 4 specific factions. Each one is like part of the towers. So if you had a vague idea of Setessa, they don't usually welcome outsiders, but they wouldn't actually let Jason anywhere near them, being from the tribe he's from, but he may have heard of them. So the Millennial Warriors are basically the people that take in children and train them up in the defense of Setessa.
Okay.
She's basically like a teacher.
Yeah.
You'd also know that their like favored weapon is like an axe with 2 heads. That's like a very crucial part of their like identity.
Okay. So she's like an obvious fighter, battle person.
She does have obvious battle elements about her, but she does have, I assume, stop me if I'm wrong, Paige, but a visible holy symbol around her chest.
Okay, so so from her look, she's giving off like cleric or paladin vibes. That's out of game.
She is giving off paladin vibes. I'll say it that.
Okay.
I'll say that.
Yeah, cool. Just that was purely just for me to get a visual on like how kind of holy she seems.
Like reasonably holy.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, so was that important, Daxus?
Well, it's always worth asking. Sorry, I just not getting over what Scotty drew.
I mean, I can do a bit of healing as well. It's just one of them things. I mean, I guess I made think good enough to catch Morpheus's attention, really. So do you mind helping me out?
He sort of looks at you over. All right, I'll do it. There's something about you as well. I mean, besides the obvious.
I
Cool.
still think you should have gone for the you can't turn away a blind woman approach, but you know, to each their own.
I like him. He's funny.
Daxos audibly jokingly says, "You don't know who I can turn away." But no, I wouldn't turn away a blind person. All right. But you got to do one thing for me.
Yeah, what's that?
These guys are about to be deprived of a much needed guardian. You'll learn a lot from them, and they from you.
I mean, strange, but yeah, sure, no problem. I guess I can do that. I mean, I know I can do that. That's fine. Hi, my name's Rhea. How are you? She's got a hand like stretched out in front of you. Okay, not handshakers. That's
No,
absolutely fine.
I'll say for Amalia because she's not here. Amalia probably would have taken the hand. Yeah.
Yeah, I take the hand as well. Like, is she obviously not as charismatic?
Question. You know, when I take a hand, can I be looking at the axe?
Does she? Do you have an axe at the moment?
Yeah, I have my beautiful axe that I lovingly made. The one that's very pretty.
Yeah, there's just an asterisk around that axe, which we will talk about later.
Yosh.
Yes. An Astrax.
Hey.
Like if you like armor and stuff, I'm pretty good at making it. Like, I can help you out.
This is gonna sound weird, but can I hold your axe?
Yeah, sure. Be careful with it though.
Daxos whispers you. It's a grieving thing.
I understand.
Sorry.
So as you like look at the axe and look at it a bit closer, you see that it's like beautifully engraved with like thorns and like flowers, and there's like veins of fire. Hang on, let me show you something cool. And she'll use Blessing of the Forge, and like you see as like the axe just sort of like gets filled with like almost like a lava sort of consistency thing as it like fills the grooves. And it then becomes a +1 axe, which is nice. Hey. Yeah.
Alright, I'll admit I didn't see that coming.
I like her.
Oh, thank you. Your name?
Oh, Amalia. Sorry, I have a thing with axes.
Oh yeah, no worries. I completely understand. And she'll take your hand and like sort of like a two-hander as soon as you grip her hand like quite firmly. And she'll just work her way down the line. You, Centaur guy?
Dyson, nice to meet you.
Yeah, pleasure. Which tribe?
Oh, the one. what is it? Sorry again. I'm getting tired now.
Ferris.
I apologize.
Yeah.
Sorry, thank you. Yeah, Ferris.
This will probably not be the longest session we've ever had.
Sorry.
No.
No.
No, literally, my brain stopped as I was thinking about what I have to do tomorrow. Yeah, Ferris Riders.
Oh, okay.
It was a long time ago. Like, actually, would I be able to like see the look in her face of like disdain or dislike?
Make
whatever?
an insight check. Oh no! If there
16?
was, yeah. I'll say,
I'll be like, it was a long time ago.
I get it. We all make mistakes from time to time. I had a couple of friends in the Laguna. So yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to react that way. It sometimes happens. Name?
To Calliope or Scotty?
No, did you tell her your name?
He did.
You did you?
I did.
Okay,
He
cool.
did.
Yeah, so she'll just move along the line. Redhead?
I mean, I quite like that name. I could go with that, but it's actually Skatinos. Or whatever, really. It's, you know, names are all about what you think. So, Oyu's good, but
I mean,
they call me
Redhead if you want to. That's no problem. Like,
I've had Scotty, I've had Redhead, I've had the Dark One. I like that one. That's quite fun.
Do not call him the Dark One. You'll just encourage him.
I like that. DO? DW?
DW1. It's not one as in like winning. It's one as in zero. DW.
I am never going to call you anything other than DW now. No.
And just like that, the name is ruined. There we go.
No, I've not had the pleasure of going to the Skull of Vale, but
it's pretty, but it gets a bit sickly after a while.
yeah, I imagine so. I get you. And then she'll like go to Calliope, and she'll sort of look Calliope like up and down, not in like a creepy way.
Calliope just looks at us like, You're an eyeful, aren't you? Shaking your
I
hand.
mean, yeah. Are you a little bear?
I don't know what that means.
Oh, so like in Satessa, right? Basically, people get left on the steps of like Karametra's temple.
Ah, she's calling you an orphan or an abandoned child. That's nice. That's nice, isn't it?
No. It's not like an insult. Being a little bear is a great privilege.
Unfortunately not. Sorry. That's a long story. I'm sure you will have time for it
Yeah,
eventually.
no, it's just you have a
Which is the DM not wanting to tell Calliope's backstory for her.
Yeah.
no, you just have a similar vibe to me.
Yeah, never knew my dad, but my mum was Noriad. No, shit, that's the wrong one. Mum was a lampad.
Hey, oh, that's pretty cool. Nice to meet you. And you, hi, my name's Eslin. Yeah, I'm sort of like.
Eslin just gets a nose. Oh, sorry, Paige just gets a nosebleed.
Nosebleed, yeah.
So I'm sort of like from Vishiros, and now I'm going to be living in Meletis. It's going to be super cool. So yeah, I hope you can help my friends out while I just sort of, build life here. And yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's cool. Sure, no problem.
Daxos will step up to you, Rhea, and say, What is Porphyros' first lesson?
Don't talk to Tempest clerics. Alright.
Daxos chuckles, No. Embrace change. Break the old to make the new. Constantly strive to improve oneself.
Yeah.
You had one group, one family, and no one's saying you have to break them in the literal sense, but embrace the new people who have suddenly stumbled into your life. Roll with the sudden change.
Will do.
Be here first thing in the morning. We're going to start poring over the kinds of creatures that make for good ingredients and what they can do.
Yeah, just as long as they're not like actual animals. Nelia would not like that very much.
You'll forgive it from time to time. I hear. Maybe.
I'll say out of character as well, you would know that Nelia is the goddess of the hunt, so she understands that there is a balance to things. Don't take the piss, but there is, within reason, hunting is acceptable. After all, the daughters of Nelia are all about hunting.
Yeesh. Guys, they're gonna be playing a character that doesn't have anxiety.
But actually, we came here for a purpose. So you, Amalia, step right up.
Okay. Hi.
And he pulls a top off of something in the shop, and where previously you had been wearing a sort of like a shield of copper scales and rings, forming this scale armor of yours that sort of hangs off of you in a sort of draped pattern, almost like a poncho of scales. You are greeted by a beautiful set of white armor. It looks sturdy enough, not like it's platinum. It's not platinum, I'm afraid, but it's meant to mimic that effect. It's a sort of interlocking plates which form the chest plate, as opposed to like a solid piece. It's sort of interlocking plates which gives you the breathing room to sort of move back and forth, they do expand. The two giant shoulder pads, and each part of it is etched in beautiful filigree. Just out of character, it is the so the armor in your character art that you commissioned was a bit loftier than what your actual starting equipment is, so I'm using this opportunity to say that you now have access to a set of plate armor, which does look like what you're wearing in that character art.
Okay, cool.
So you can go ahead and add plate, like a set of plate armor to your inventory.
Okay.
And equip it. Eslin, he pulls two more tops off. Jason, you see yours, he studied your aesthetic quite well. This one's a lot more practical in the sense he's not messed about too much with any embossing, or it's not too busy compared to the others, but it is a solid iron muscle-bound chest piece. Plates that can drape over the horse section. So almost like a, you know, them beetles that curl up?
Yeah.
Sort of like sections, almost like a bullet's hide across your horse thing.
Gotcha.
Guards for your horse legs, and rounded large shoulder pads that have like short fat spikes coming off of them.
Okay.
And van braces. Unless you told him something different in this current week.
No, like that's pretty, like, so he's basically adorned with golden armor, like from literal head to toe being the body.
It's gilded with brass, or sort of like there's a brass trim to it, but the actual armor itself is solid iron.
Nice.
And that is also a set of plate.
Okay.
And Eslin, you are greeted by a set of bronze plate, which is just adorned with images of nauticals and the sea, and the pauldrons themselves look like large conch shells. This one took the longest.
It's very beautiful. Thank you.
Just wish I had known that you wouldn't have need of it.
I didn't really know myself, but, you know, situations change.
Keep it in the house, you never know. Plus, it'll look good. So just wear it at a party, who cares?
I mean, it wasn't that long ago that a kraken attacked Meletis, so, you know, it's always good to have armor on standby.
Yeah, that was a crazy day.
Daxos?
Hmm?
You, like, cut things and build things, right?
I'd say that's an apt description of what I do, sure.
She takes off her necklace, which is basically like a little axe. Can you, like, make the axe half? So there's like two little axes.
Yeah, give me a few minutes. And he just steps into the back, and you hear different metal clangs and sounds, and in a few minutes he steps out with exactly what you want.
So, okay. So Amalia takes both of the they're like little bracelets now because she's cut the chain of one of the axes to make it into a little bracelet into the other one. Anyway, she just looks at Dyson and she's like, one for the dad, and then walks over to Espen and then says, and one for the mum. Just something to remember me by.
Aww.
That's awfully kind of you.
It's very sweet. Thank you.
Well, I love you guys. So, you know.
Oh, reminds me. Sorry, one more thing. And he pulls out a satchel made of a kind of black leather that very ornate buckle on it that is adorned with like a viper. It's like a coiled viper that has a pin through it, and there is a very basic sort of face embroidered onto the actual bag itself. So rather than start from scratch, Penelope and I modified a bag of holding.
I like the design.
Any living tissue. This doesn't work on living creatures, unfortunately, but living tissue inside this decays at 1/2 the speed as if it were outside. And that'll run you 600.
Oh, she upsold me, but worth it. Though.
She did not upsell you, let me tell you that.
Okay. So, I guess we'll probably at this point probably ask, how are we splitting all the stuff we made from before? Just out of curiosity. Just sort of sprang to mind now.
Daxos, to help you out, kind of says it does also work as a normal bag of holding, same space, same everything.
I can see that being useful for us, certainly. What are we doing? He's not gonna just like reach it, like claim the things. This is like, it's just waiting to get the okay. Can I spend, please? Daddy, Mummy.
Who's in charge of the money? Doesn't Calliope have the money? Or like, doesn't she have like the chest?
Calliope has the chest. I'm sort of acting
Yeah.
as in like drone mode. Do you wish to tap into the chest?
Yes. I would.
Well,
Okay.
Does Daxos have enough thing to like swap it over?
Swap what over?
What if we give him the chest? Doesn't the chest have all the pearls and diamonds and stuff like that?
It doesn't just have pearls. There's also gold inside it. It's up to you how much you wish to. If you wish to use the pearls or if you wish to use the gold, it's up to you.
I would suggest that we use. Well, if Scotius will politely go, can I please use things to spend for buying my special bag?
Fine. Now I'm relying on you as the DM. I'm relying on you guys to keep track of the amount that you guys have. And
should we? Is it all on Calliope's sheet at the moment?
it's not. Like none of it is.
Okay. Well, maybe we should start off from working out what is Jason taking with him, what is Eslin keeping with her, so we know what is left within the travelling party.
Well, yeah. So like, Jason probably won't want to take any of the stuff that you guys his quote unquote portion of the overall treasure. He wouldn't want to take that. So so basically the treasure can be split between 4 instead of 5. No, 5. Yeah, 4 instead of 5.
Whatever your cost for travel back to your home, though, would come out of the chest. I think that's fair.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's fair. That's definitely fair.
Let me have a look at the message of what we had.
I've got it open here if you want to get ready to take notes.
Yes, go ahead again.
So, 5,000 gold pieces worth of the finest iridescent pearls and black opals. The seaweed tube with the map, but you already know that. 3,600 gold pieces. 750 gold pieces of gems and pearls, including 300 gold pieces of diamonds.
I'm going to separate that into...
And you guys have the stone speaker crystal. I don't know who has that. Who's holding on to that.
I'm going to separate the description of that into 450 gold pieces of gems and pearls and 300 GP worth of diamonds, so we know we can separate them in case we ever need it for something
Cool.
else as well. Okay,
Sweet.
based off that, if Scotinus was to spend 600 of the gold pieces, that would mean that are we splitting first, or are we buying things we need and then splitting? What would people like to do? Tell you what, to make it easier, Scotino's just spending 600 of those gold pieces, and he's just putting them in while the party decide what's going on. So there's now 3,000 gold pieces left.
Cool. Go ahead and add a backup holding to your inventory and just put an additional note saying that things decay at 1/2 normal speed whilst inside it.
Will do. Thank you, everyone. Dennis is very happy.
Well then, unless there's any other order of business, oh yeah, the ram is being mounted as we speak. I had that sent down this morning. But if there's no other order of business, I actually must consult with Aslan on a few things.
Well, I guess we'll leave you two to it. Come on, Rhea, let's go find out more about you, I guess.
Daxos says to you, Rhea, see you tomorrow sharp, and then we'll draw up a plan for how we're going to do this. And that's DM code for I haven't actually prepped that stuff yet.
Yeah, sure thing, thank you. Catch you later.
See you tomorrow.
Alright, bye.
Guys,
Cool.
Bye.
And Aslan, Daxos leads you back to his workshop where he shows you some of the stuff he's been tinkering with the various... So you guys had a few pearls and corals lying around just within your personal belongings, and he shows you some of what he's been tinkering with, some techniques and some ideas that he's just been effing about with. Cool, so...
Yeah, this looks...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
She was just like, yeah, looks good.
Cool. And... Bralalalala. You guys are walking along. Now I need to ask, Jason, how do you wish to proceed?
So
As you guys are traveling.
Yeah, so what is the situation in terms of like where we are now with Rhea coming in, and like is there a plan with Rhea? Do we know what's going on with that yet, or?
So you know that Daxos has suggested she accompany you guys. He's sort of like, you get the sense also he was sort of maybe buying a little time to sort of figure out a game plan, both he and the DM.
Yeah, fair.
But you know that he's advised her to embrace change and to sort of seize an opportunity, and also he would have sort of gone on to talk a bit about how it's not just the act of enchanting things. There is an element of combat which comes with following the god of the forge. For who can truly claim to create tools that they never use themselves. And he would have told Ray a little bit about how he sort of was forced through a brutal lifetime regime of training, but that he's not going to put her through that. He's going to try to do things differently, but basically that she will need to work with him. So you know that he has asked her to sort of hone her skills with you guys.
Right.
Yeah, weird day, right?
Oh, I mean, we've had weirder ones. We spent the last couple of weeks underwater.
You can hold your breath for that long?
Not without his help, we can't.
For legal reasons, that's a joke. But
No, I got it.
no, it's just yeah. Humor tends to diffuse situations. Like sometimes the students, like the kids, they in awkward situations, it just helps.
I find songs help. Like,
all right, go on.
We had. All right. There once was a little itty bitty fishy Tallulah, so sneaky, slinky, fishy, stole a treasure so pretty, fishy, stole a treasure so silly, silly fishy. The Gorgon won't permit it, not this ditty, fishy. The secret's unworthy to the unfitty, fishy. The unwary can't control it. Unwary, fishy, fishy, stole a treasure so silly, silly fishy. Then Thassa sent an army to defeat fishy, fishy. Slew her agent, slew Mayavi, fishy, fishy. Rose the people, called to battle, and to greedy, fishy, fishy. Slew Tallulah, queen so silly, fishy, fishy.
How long have you had that waiting?
About 5 minutes.
That was really good. I'm well impressed.
We had a long journey back from Thassa.
Yeah,
we didn't really talk much. We were quite tired, so I spent most of the time writing it.
No, that's fair.
That is believable as well.
That's what you get for calling from a song.
I'll have to ask for some more songs more often. Not quite musically gifted myself, but I can make things with wood. I can make things with metal. That's as far as my skills go. But I hear and woodwork sells well in this area. Hey.
Are you good at fixing boats?
Maybe. I don't know.
We've got a big boat. It's actually got a better name, but I forget the name of it. Longboat, tugboat. No, not tugboat. That's something different. Jason, do you remember the name of what the boat is called? Big long one.
Ours.
Yeah.
Wow.
What is it?
The Siren's
Siren.
Oh no, I know the name of it. I mean, what type of boat is it?
Oh, it's a longship, isn't it?
It's just called. I thought it had another name.
It's a galley.
Galley. That's.
It's used a galley stat block, but it is technically a trireme. They're not necessarily exactly the same thing, but they're close enough for
we have
D&D.
this big boat.
Red especially hates us.
And well, it's last time, when this lot came across it, didn't you steal it or acquire it? I forget. You told me that you just came across it and then drowned the people that owned it, something like that. As we have a boat, and it's
Ray is gonna look visibly upset by this conversation that's going on.
And well, there's like pieces of it that need like fixing, and so if you fancy fixing the boat, that'd be helpful. Gives you something to do. By the way, can I borrow some of your blood? Just unrelated.
I think I may have made a mistake leaving Satessa, I'll be honest with you.
Scotinus being the one to have the speech about, like, what is the reason we're sticking together may not have been the most honest.
I guess you can have some of my blood, but
Scotty, at least tell her what you're using the blood for. You don't want to scare the poor thing.
Oh,
I
right.
mean, we're all about community, so if it will help you, then you can have some of my blood.
I need to ask Jason about this later anyway. It's so if you ever get in trouble, we can find where you are. I can unlock the power of the blood.
And she'll just take her little axe, her big axe, and just slit her hand open.
Whoa! Okay. Hemokinesis. Catch as it kind of like just pulls that.
Easy enough.
All right, and I shall rename my potion vial Eslin to potion vial Rhea instead.
Easy enough.
Jason, don't think you get away that easy either. I know you're travelling off to see your people, but we probably want to check in on you from time to time to make sure you're still, alive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're leaving?
Yes. There's a let's just say if you've just left your home, there's a reason for me to want to visit mine right now.
Yeah, no, fair. Not a massive fan of those type of centaurs, though, to be honest with you, so be careful.
Thanks. I'll keep that in mind.
This is gonna be so much fun.
Are you happy, by the way, Jason, for me to you get what I'm asking, right?
Yes, no, I understand. And again, probably say some kind of bro code thing in Sylvan. But yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Easy enough.
Sure.
All right. Jason, you exchange hugs with everybody, and just as everyone says their goodbyes, you give them a silent nod. And you just begin to make your way, unless there's anything else you wanted to do.
No, I think, yeah, it's like this is very much the same kind of energy as like old man Bilbo getting on the ship. Just like you can see he's old, he's weary, he's kind of just like there's an element of sadness for leaving, but there's also an element of hope on the horizon. And yeah, he just gets on and kind of like he does that thing where he stands probably at the back and it doesn't like wave as he's going off, but he would.
I feel I need to correct this at the point. Why are you on a ship?
How am I getting on?
Oh, Cal, Jason.
The fairies' lands are landlocked.
Oh no! Oh, Jason's got himself confused again. Come on, everyone.
He's on the wrong one.
All right, I need to check the map now because I feel like I'm going crazy here.
No, it is landlocked. It is where the centaurs live because it's right by Setessa.
Yeah. Your head. Oh no. Yeah, you're heading north, Jason. You're heading to the sort of the plains and the fields.
I'll have to just head off then.
Cool, you will head off. Now, DM to Alex here.
Yeah.
Would you like to conclude the final part of this tonight or next session?
No, Ray is a bit of a spanner, so I'll chat to you.
Sorry.
No, it's cool. But yeah, we can chat.
Okay. In that case, as Jason makes his way, I'll say that's where we'll conclude tonight's session.
So much has happened in.
Yeah. Had a quieter chat room tonight, but we appreciate anyone who may have tuned in, and thank you very much. We are DC30.